we invent crispy?
Hello.
Meowdy y'all!
Hello, Jay.
Hi Jay, hi Nekinito, hi Penny, hi Jay.
Hello.
I think I said that already. Hi Shark, hi Jacob,
Hi, Shark.
hi Cruiser.
Cruiser.
Jacob and Cruiser are on YouTube, so you won't see those. Duran, hi, Happy
Hello,
New Year!
everybody. Hello, hello.
I don't know. Am I talking
What's
more like normal today? I
this?
was like doing ASMR the other day, apparently.
Were you?
Ooh.
You streamed?
Well, my
recently?
ear, my own voice is really loud in my own ear because my ear's all plugged up with shit from the surgery that I recently had to fix my eardrum. It's all good. It worked good. Hi, Damari. I'm gonna try to send you the finished art, Damari, so I can show you. Dran also says hey to Sin and Mashi.
Well,
Hello.
hi.
And Shark says hi, Mashi. Hi, Sin. Gotta make sure
Hi.
Sin sees the chat messages for her.
Yeah. Thank you. Hi.
I need to show her the love.
I
Okay,
heck
Penny
you do.
says I should go onto the conveyor belt, use the play dead emote on it, and then spam the space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's give it.
Okay. Yeah.
do it.
And he says
Come to
trust.
me.
Oh, I'm trusting.
Come to us.
Okay, first of all, how does one emote?
R.
R.
R. For remote?
Thank you for the hydrate.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what that looked like for anyone else.
what?
I would
Well,
love.
Did like a huge.
I did a flip.
Yeah.
Oh my
Cruiser, thank you
goodness.
for the super chat. Your name is Manny. Hi, Manny.
Oh my god.
Okay, so
Okay.
you gotta do it really fast to go faster. Okay, try doing it really fast. It's funny. Sin, you're on the wrong one.
Oh, you're talking to me? Oh, I thought you were doing it.
You're the
Okay.
one down there. Oh, I guess I could have just gone the other
Yeah,
direction.
it goes both ways.
Oh, whoops, wait. I didn't get on
No,
the conveyor
We're
belt.
not leaking our legal names. Nobody do that. So silly. Okay, I'll do it faster too.
That isn't where it's supposed to. Wait, oh, there it is. No, I'm
That was
not
about as
there.
fast as I could spam.
Mashi, how did you
Get me
do,
up.
Like, the big flip?
Get on there.
There's next page at the bottom of the wheel.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, they added a
the
bunch
back
of more
flip?
emotes.
Oh my god, what?
Backflip?
Okay.
Holy
Yeah.
mackerel.
Yeah, and I got this. Da, 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 da.
I don't know why Manny texts in all caps. I think English may not be their first language. Okay, so I'm a little bit worried that you will literally have to carry me, but I will do my best.
No, it's okay. We can do
What
fleet.
are you
light-
guys doing over there?
We're dancing.
Emoting.
That didn't look like dancing. Oh,
Oh
there
my
it
god,
is.
Cruiser! Cruiser! What the 20?
Thanks, Cruiser.
Oh my god! What the heck?
No.
That's
Oh my,
crazy.
wait, whoa,
What?
wait.
Flip. Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa,
my god. Nice moves.
Whoa. Sin, that's 20 gift subs from Cruiser.
Hell yeah.
That's so much. Thank you so much. Oh my god.
Absolute cinema.
Absolute cinema. This is how that makes me feel.
This is us when that's going up.
Yeah! Happy New Year, everybody!
What's that one called? It's not Shimmy.
It's a crash out.
Crash. Incredible. Okay, well, do you want to go get on the plane and
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, let's
We
do
can
it.
do a
Wait, first-
Fleetfoot.
we can do a what?
We gotta do the.
The untimed. Let's take a picture.
Oh, okay.
Take a picture. Alright. Who wants Bing Bong? I'm gonna grab Bing Bong. You want Bing Bong?
Oh, he has a little Santa head. That's cute.
Somebody's
Okay,
gotta have them.
I'll start.
Blocking Mashi's face.
Cinema.
Yeah. Ah!
Bully.
I don't know if I was in that one.
Oh, that's adorable. And
Yeah, it saves it in your Steam.
Penny says, "Sure hope we don't crash the plane on an island with a high mountain."
Sure hope not.
Nah, it'll be
Oh,
fine.
it's so Christmassy. It's so
The
cute.
possibility of crashing the plane is like.
Is so low. That almost never happens.
Tenderfoot. That's what it
So
is.
low.
Yeah, tenderfoot.
It would never.
are you
happen
ready?
To us.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Oh, take me away.
Take me away.
Excuse me.
To a peaky place.
can
Oh my
hear
gosh,
it
level
in
5
my
hype
mind.
train. Oh, that's so nice.
I know, it's crazy.
You
Cruiser,
shouldn't
you can't do
have.
gift memberships on my YouTube too. Stop
You know what I
it.
think about that? I just think. Oh
Thank
my
you,
God.
Cruiser. Thank you very much.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, they still have the presents.
I'm
I
sad
don't
my
know
Bing
if I
Bong didn't get a
remember the
Christmas hat. I'm
controls.
sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. My phone's going off.
What should I get? Should I get some coconuts or something?
Oh yeah, we could get some coconuts. There's some right here.
Sure.
And then we
A1.
We could roast them on that fire back there. The plain
Yeah.
fire.
Can we have Rinfinite Cheer on YouTube? It's my favorite emote. Yeah, I'll make that for you. Oh wait, you guys crashed, says Jacob.
Oh no.
Our plane. I can't believe this happened. You promised it wouldn't.
So what happened was.
I'll get Bing Bong.
Squeeze him. Ask a question and squeeze.
Ask a question and squeeze.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
Oh,
God.
okay. Let me. Okay. Does it have to be like a yes or no question or any question?
Yeah. Hex. Welcome
Yeah.
in, Hex.
What do you think about Rinfinite?
Oh,
Excuse me?
What?
you should throw him in the ocean.
Is he like AI?
No, he's not AI. He's just
Oh, he's not listening to me.
no.
Are you listening to me? Oh, phew.
I miss my wife.
Who was piloting? That's a,
It was probably me. I did it.
Mashi.
I need some coconuts.
Here, grab a
Would like to get-
coconut.
A coconut piece. And then, you want to take me up this mountain?
Let's go up the mountain.
I'll do really good, I promise.
I trust.
As you should.
What do we get
Weird
with
looking
our...
dogs. I change.
Oh, I love that one! Choo choo.
Cruiser, thank you again so much. I will
Thank you
definitely
so
upload that emote for
much.
you tomorrow. What if we cook Bing Bong?
We can cook Bing Bong.
You can.
I'm not
Yeah.
cooking Bing Bong.
Oh!
What? Oh!
Ah! Oh! Oh, that gave me a little bit of frost.
Yeah. I'm surprised
Wow.
it didn't like knock you off your feet. Why does it only happen to me?
Does it
Knock
really?
you over?
Yeah, every time I get hit by the snowball, like I get knocked out.
Oh!
Not the snow.
Ren! No! That's a jellyfish!
No, get it! Step on the
Are
jelly.
you okay? Do you want a coconut?
I'm fine. I don't
Okay.
want the
You
coconut.
need this. You want it? Do you want the?
No, I don't want it.
No!
I'm supposed to know what you
Run right now.
Is this
Oh, there's a... Yeah, that's snow.
Okay, how do you throw? Oh, Q hold.
Hold Q. Yeah. Fight.
Maybe
Did
you
not-
didn't throw it
It's
hard
like-
enough.
See? Why do I get knocked over?
Well, I
Here.
did it with full. I did it with
Yeah,
full.
maybe you just didn't throw it hard
Yeah.
enough.
No, I did.
No, you
Weak?
get one and
Weak? Is that what you're saying?
get one and hit me.
Yeah, you could get us back.
You put the lime in the coconut and shade it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn
Hello,
yourself around.
Silent. Ah,
Oh,
see? You
oh,
did
Did
it.
I hit myself? Okay. I hit myself on top of hitting you.
That's
funny.
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so this
That's
mountain looks really
solid,
tall.
Actually.
Beach is snowy. That makes
me.
perfect sense.
Oh,
Whoa, you went flying!
good.
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 A little
Is there a thumbs
nod.
up? Yeah,
Yeah.
thumbs up.
Hi,
Okay, let's go.
Ladybug. Hi.
What does your friend get nailed in the head with a coconut?
Jacob on YouTube says, but think of the protein if I cook Bing Bong.
The protein.
I
You have
think
to
that's
meet-
messed up.
You have to
in
hit
my
your
brain.
protein.
No, we don't. We could survive on rice and bananas for a few days.
Rice? Where are we getting the rice?
Oh, I was
Wait.
just describing the diet that the doctor said I was supposed to have for
Oh.
Monday after my surgery.
Rice and
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 what?
I was
Wow.
curious, so I googled how long can you survive on the brat diet?
The
Oh,
bread.
Banana,
true. Okay.
rice, applesauce, toast, and the answer is a few days.
Oh,
You need more
You need
nutrients.
vegetables.
true.
Okay, so the way you climb is you just walk up to the wall
You left click.
and then you click. Okay, click and hold.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
then
Then
Penny says,
we
I'm pretty sure they
take
changed it
each
to now
other's
Bing Bong's voice starts
hand.
dying when he gets
Yeah.
cooked and
Hold
items explode
hands
when they're
and be
supposed to be
gay.
cooked. That's creepy. Thank you for hand holding.
yeah.
Oh, look,
That's
there's a
what
present.
wives
Look, there's a
do.
present up there.
Where?
Up,
Where?
up.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's where I was going. I was like, where? Like, looking around. Is there
I see
another
it.
one?
We gotta go see what's
Yeah,
in
the
it.
There's
cure-all
another one. Wait,
item
there's
will
another one.
explode.
There's
If you're
another
also
one.
on
another
an island,
present.
why not just make a boat to, I don't know,
Look,
leave?
There's
Says
one
Jake.
this way.
Yeah, there's
Is there a
plenty of
reason we
wood
don't just
here
make
to
a
make
boat,
a
guys?
boat.
I think we're too heavy and we don't float. Oh
Okay.
gosh.
I
Run and
have
jump.
a health pack over here.
That sounds pretty good.
First aid, Mashi. Do you want? Oh, there's a balloon.
You can put it in
If
my
I- if-
backpack. The
We don't need a
balloon.
balloon, do we?
No.
Or is that like does it have a function?
It helps with like just to
OMG!
help with fall
it's
damage
sunny.
or whatever.
It says I can use it on Mashimaru.
Yeah, give her a balloon.
Whee! I'm light as a feather.
Now we know
so
where
cute.
she
Hi,
is at all
Sun.
times.
All right.
Okay, so
Yep.
we can take.
Oh, there's a
this
present up
way.
here. Yeah, there's a
Trekking
present. up
to
there.
Antarctica. Do do do
Oh,
do do.
present. There's one down there too.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Whoa,
Did it
that
rich? Are you okay?
It broke like right as you got off.
Oh, we're fine. We're fine. Okay, we're
It was
good.
cool.
What?
Okay, put
What did we
this-
get? Nuts?
Nuts.
Trail mix.
Here you
Some
go.
of these.
Oh wait, there's another one.
The balloon helps lower
Yeah, but
stress.
that's not
Yes,
Whoa.
It's going
correct.
down. We're not supposed to go down.
But there's a present.
Oh, did you turn off the time limit?
I did.
So we could just goof around.
We can. Yeah,
my
I
God,
thought
this
that- I
is so
thought
much
it would be
fun.
more fun that way.
Or
Nuts.
some right. Checkpoint flag. That sounds fun.
Oh yeah, so if you are about to do like a scary jump, you could place that down first, and then you will respawn if you die.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a new thing
Oh.
they added.
I wondered what that was.
The answer is yes, Jacob. There
Where?
is fall damage if
Oh,
you
is
just
it
jump.
the fog? Oh, maybe we should not go.
There's no fog.
There's no fog. Mashi said she turned it off.
Oh well,
Oh,
yeah,
you
there's
sure?
fog there because that's the end of the.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I was like, are you sure?
Yeah, sure.
Me looking at the fog.
You see fog? I don't see any fog. What fog?
What fog?
Yeah, we're
Exactly.
just gonna
Chat,
be
we're talking about
goofy,
fog.
silly guys.
Just saying stuff.
Sometimes we just say
Um,
words.
Oh,
I think we have to go that and then up from there.
Okay.
Are you gonna do a running jump?
Run and jump. Ah. Okay, yeah. Back to where we started before we climbed down.
Come on.
There's a safe spot right here. Right here.
Beep,
I don't know where here is. Oh,
Beep, beep, bop.
can I just jump onto this?
Can
How did you get up there?
I jumped on that, and then, yeah, you could do that. I suppose there's a chest over there, so we can...
Oh,
Uh-oh.
that didn't work.
Here, climb again. I got you.
Hello, everyone. How's y'all's New Year starting out? Hi, Maud!
Fantastic. How's your new year?
Fantastic New Year!
You stand on me.
Right here, I got you.
Okay.
Oh, oh no!
Oh,
Oh, you
No,
made
that was
it!
intentional.
Okay.
I did that on purpose.
Ah,
Oh!
Okay.
Oh!
I'm fine. I'm fine. Let's go up.
Oh, we were going this way!
I think this way's better.
Oh my gosh! No
I
way.
think like go that way. Anyway, we're
I'll
going
meet you at the
this
top.
way. There's a present
Uh-oh.
over here.
Do you have enough stamina for that?
Probably not.
Oh, she's going so high! No! I got her.
Oh.
I got her. I got her.
Oh boy.
Are you alive? Oh. Are you hurt?
Oh!
No, you're not.
That makes sense, Jacob, because there's a bit of a delay between the
Do you
stream
need
and
heals?
yeah, I'd love to have a heal.
Okay.
I'll do it the right way this time, I promise. Okay,
Sorry,
so
Sin.
Huh?
This
For what?
for climbing down, for falling.
It's okay.
You're alone.
hey, we
up
have to all go
there.
together.
I'm
I learned with
good.
Minion
I'm
Charlie
just
that you
savaging.
should not leave a man behind.
No, you should.
Oh,
It's
I'm
not a
just
good idea.
grabbing stuff for when you guys come back. If you come
seems-
back.
Fine. We're coming back.
Climb.
I got these nuts for you.
Yeah.
Oh god. This is kind of a tough climb. There
Sin
we
is the
go.
one who wears the pants, so it makes sense that she has the nuts.
Yeah.
Where are we?
It's just a
Boy,
scratch.
do I.
Oh, there you are.
It's just
Hi.
a scratch.
Hello.
Is this for Ren?
Oh, I don't need it anymore. Will you hold
I
on
don't-
to it for the next time I die?
I don't have space.
Here, feed me.
Leaving
I'm
someone
kind of
behind is
hungry.
losing a food source?
Eat this.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for feeding me your nuts.
You're welcome. I
Wait a minute, I
provide
should
for
have
the family.
accepted them.
I provide for my wives.
Oh, I'm a big jerk.
All
right.
I wasn't gonna
Gonna try
say it. I
go
just
this-
instantly
this?
forgave you.
It's because I'm so cute.
True. Okay, which one? What? Oh, I was like, oh, there's a balloon. I forgot I had a balloon.
Coming out of your skull.
Yeah, I had the balloon. Wait, I don't think this was a good idea. Oh,
Do you make it? Should I jump?
yeah, there's kind of a little pocket here.
Little pocket. Thank you. Get the stamina back before you start going again.
Yes.
I remember that rule.
don't, you're sliding. There you go.
You can come over here and do like the goat thing to get your stamina back.
We're goats.
Can you explain the goat thing?
They like.
You know how they're just like on the wall and
They
it
just
Oh,
are
oh,
kind of like
moves?
hanging on the mountain.
I thought there was
Yeah.
some kind of game mechanic that, like, if you press these
Oh.
buttons,
You become goat.
You
you
do
will do the goat pose.
the goat thing.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yay.
You guys are so good at this.
We beat the game.
We beat the game?
You kind of need a bit of stamina for this.
Hi,
Do
too.
you have extra stamina, Ren?
I have mostly full bar. I think I'm fine.
I think you're fine.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
you're
you
good.
have you have.
As long
like,
as you have
baby
one full
stamina.
bar, you'll be okay.
I have a thing for you.
I have a
once
little
I
battery
get
icon.
there. Hold on,
Oh, that's
I'm on
a
my way.
weight.
I'm
Are
on
you
my way to
heavy?
give you something. But come
That's
here,
my weight.
come here, Ren.
Okay.
That should
Now I
move.
have a long health.
Yes, yes. There you go.
They lengthened my bar.
You can go
Yeah.
that way, and then, or we can go. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know.
There's more ground this way. I don't
Yeah.
Go that way.
know. I just
And if
don't
we're
want
wrong, we'll
anyone
go
to
the other way.
fall. Yeah. I don't want anybody to
We can stand
fall.
here.
Mwah.
Oh, thank you.
Mwah. Mwah.
Mwah. There's a jellyfish. Careful.
Okay,
Wait.
thank you for the
Wait.
warning.
I'm gonna step on it.
No.
Step on it?
You step on it and fly down the mountain.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh no.
JJ.
Jenny says the
45
icon, the
Street
lightning
Street.
icon is extra stamina.
The lightning?
Yes.
Oh, the battery. Did you say battery? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Coconut.
sorry.
We need coconut? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'll
have
get
an
it.
inventory slot open. If
Yeah, my backpack isn't totally full yet. I'm just gonna climb down with...
Okay. I got one, and then here's an extra one for somebody.
I'm not hungry, so you could have it.
I'm
Sin,
just hanging.
have you been sleeping okay since you've been sick?
Oh yeah,
That's good.
I've been like doped up on meds.
No, no.
Okay.
Do you have that flu that's going around?
No, I got COVID over the holiday.
Isn't that so sad?
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I only
Okay,
just
I-
got to open my presents like a couple of days ago.
Oh my god.
Cruiser says Sin 7.
Sin 7.
Sin 7. Like
Yeah.
6, 7?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just thought you needed to know that because it was on YouTube and it was
Okay.
from
Nice.
Cruiser who gave us a bunch of gift subs. So.
Hi, Ice.
Sin 7. Right. Where are we going?
Oh
I think
my
we
god,
have to
wait.
go
I have
down and then
to-
up again.
Wait, Mashi, wait. Oh no, wait.
What?
Okay.
What?
Rin, can you
You ruined
look
the
at
moment.
me
Continue.
for a moment? Can you back up just a teeny bit? And then, okay, yeah, hold on.
What
Wait,
happened?
give me 1 minute. I want to like take a picture, but I need Rin to like stay still.
I'm so confused.
No, just
I see.
it's fine. Just stay still for like
think
1
you're
second.
broken.
My hand is off the mouse.
I want to show you this picture.
I'm so scared.
It's great. I love it. I want to make this my banner.
Oh my god. I'll make it the new flag of Rin Nation.
Okay. There,
Did you send it to me?
Yeah.
Let me just take a little look on my phone here. Wait, I'm not even in this picture.
Well, I don't know how to get all of us.
Why did you need me to stand still?
It was on your stream. That's why.
The picture's
Wow.
really good.
Do you want me to take a picture of you and Bashi?
No.
Oh, okay. Fine.
Thank you for the lurk mod.
Okay. Where to? Which way do we want to go? Back up? Maybe?
So my husband's parents also got COVID right before Christmas, so we didn't get to
Oh.
do Christmas with his family at all.
Oh no.
No.
And he was actually gonna go visit them, but they're still testing positive. So
We can't go that
Oh.
way. We have to go.
Oh. Wait, I guess. Should we go that way?
but I'm glad you've been
Or-
able to sleep
oh, wait,
because I was
okay.
thinking Mashi had a 4 a.m. shift,
Yeah.
and for whatever reason I haven't slept in 3 days.
I can't. I can't.
Oh.
So you have to have the brain cells for all of us, Sin.
Good. I'll do my best.
I hope you brought at least 2.
We should maybe backtrack.
Go the other way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go down and then.
Okay.
I think Phasmophobia is quite scary.
Oh, yeah.
Have you played it?
I have.
Was that your? No, that wasn't your. Horror game. that
It
you
wasn't
were
as scary as PT.
gonna- No, PT's scary.
I have a horror game in mind I want to try.
Yeah.
I showed
Is
it
it
to Mashi
Rico?
earlier, but I'll send the link. second. Looked spooky. Ah! Sorry, I got scared.
Gosh,
Oh, I
I
was
got
like, are
scared
you
for
good?
you.
Are you good?
This way.
Come this way.
Jacob on YouTube says that Alpha Rad also streamed this game. I think that means we're as famous as Alpha Rad.
Totally.
Is it bad that when I first read Alpha Rad, my first thought was like from Jaden Animations?
I don't
From-
think that's bad.
No,
No.
Oh my
don't they
goodness.
live together?
I don't know.
Or you guys have no idea?
I have no idea.
I'm just saying
I know
words.
who Jaden Animations is. I just don't know who that other person is.
I think they are sort of like partners.
Sorta. Kinda, sorta.
I like Jaden a lot.
You okay?
Oh no, what was wrong? They're roommates, and they were roommates.
And they were roommates. Okay, you go on the bridge first, because if I go on it with you, it will break.
Okay, which way? Oh, the way that this way?
Yes, and
And then I'm gonna. Oh, I see. I see where Sin is.
On this way.
Okay,
this
so I'm just
way.
gonna go on this other bridge for a second to regain the
Yeah.
stamina, just to be safe.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna continue the climb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
You did it.
Yay.
thank you.
All right, Mom. She come on.
Thank you.
I'm cheering you on.
What you looking at?
No, I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Oh, is this
She's
that
looking down the
healing
mountain.
mushroom?
You're right. I'm
Wait.
looking the wrong way.
I'm grabbing this remedy fungus.
Yes.
Can I
the
climb this?
fungus. Yeah.
The fungus among us.
Not a mogus.
There was
Yes.
a food at the place I ate at recently, and it had Among Us in it. And I
It had a
laughed.
bug in it?
Yeah, the name of the food had Among Us in it.
What?
I forgot what it was. I forgot what the food was, but it was something Among Us.
Was it Among Us themed, or there was just the word Among Us in the
Just
title?
Among Us in it, and it made me think of the game.
That's so weird.
That scared me.
Now what?
Now what?
I have
indeed?
this.
Ooh.
I could.
Oh, you shoot it up. Shoot it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
A rope.
We're pros. Look at
That
us.
helped. It did.
And I wanna-
Yo.
Oh, Dran wrote a song. I have to sing it for you guys. I wanna be the very best that no one ever was. To catch them wives, my real test. To love them is my cause. I will stream across the world, searching far and wide. Brr, brr, brr. Those VTubers to understand the waifu that's inside. It. That's as far as it went. Where am I? What am I doing now?
Go up.
Climb up. Climb up.
Oh, I think that is probably the answer
That's our
to that
goal.
question. Thanks, Penny. I appreciate you teaching me all the memes. That reminds me, Mashimaro peanut butter strawberry mushroom smoothie.
Oh.
Don't turn me into a smoothie.
Oh, I was like, dang, that sounds good.
Mashimaro peanut butter strawberry mushroom smoothie.
It's not
sounded
the
good to me until
mushroom. Everything else is fine, except me. Don't blame
I
me in
mean,
your
mushroom
smoothie.
would go with if it was like a Mashimaro theme.
Yeah.
I think if we jump on
I
this
fell
guy,
asleep at
we
my
can
desk.
maybe go
Oops. Uh-oh.
up, like to
Think we can
there, and then
land on that?
out. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh,
let's
yeah,
go.
no
Run and
problem.
jump.
Easy.
No contest.
You go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna go first. I didn't jump.
It's
Is it
okay. I think you should be fine.
I pressed the space bar.
Yeah,
Probably
sometimes
too
it
late.
just doesn't work.
Okay.
I'm hungry. Can you get
where'd
something out of my
Spin
backpack?
go? How'd you get up there?
I climbed. It's what the extra stamina will help you with.
I see. So I'm just gonna climb straight up this and this.
Yeah. And I will be here to help, hopefully.
Come on. Oh no. Oh,
I got you. I got you.
thank you so much, babe.
Yeah. I got you, babe.
Thanks, babe.
With a side of Rinfinite grape prune furball smoothie cruiser.
Oh, there's a
Cruiser's like, I
person
gave
up-
them some money. Let me say some cursed shit.
What's the farthest you got with Minnie and Charlie, Red?
Like the fourth world. No. I think we passed the rain. No. I've been to the hell. I've been to the hell one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we almost beat it.
Dang.
We just didn't quite make it at the end.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult.
I wouldn't say I
Bandit.
was the strongest performer on the team.
I've been to hell.
Jacob said, Cruiser, stop making me hungry.
Oh, this is bad, I think. Bad shroom.
Does it have an X on it?
No, it's
An
the
X?
the trumpet one that has like the ridges.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. We could just walk right up.
Yeah.
Look at this.
We did it!
We
Yay! We did
We
it!
won the game.
All right.
Game! Yeah.
Shark, hope you're okay. You said you fell asleep at your desk. My bad, I haven't slept. I just be saying shit. Yeah, go to sleep, Cruiser. What the fuck? I haven't been sleeping either. so I
Oh,
need
we
you to
got
get
the
some sleep.
glizzies.
Whoa!
What's a
Okay.
glizzy?
It's a hot dog.
Oh, why is it called a glizzy?
Symbol of friendship.
Careful, it has uses on it.
Oh, what does it do?
What is that?
It gives us infinite stamina when we're climbing.
Bugle of friendship. Wow.
Oh, should we keep it?
We should keep it.
I can carry it.
Yeah, let me like heal myself real fast.
Excuse me?
Okay, there we go.
Anyone want a backpack?
Oh, yeah, I could use a backpack.
Eat these out.
Glizzy gang. Hi, Captain.
Put Bing Bong in there.
Oh,
Put
okay,
the horn in there.
do you want the glizzy or do you want the marshmallow?
I would like the glizzy.
What's
Okay.
is there a difference in like gameplay mechanic?
I don't think
I don't think so. I think they're the same amount of.
How to
Do
put on
benefit.
backpack?
Hold E and then go
Ah.
down. Yep, there you
Thank
go.
you.
You got it. You got it.
Glizzy gang. Okay, so sorry. Do they give you
One more.
different boosts?
I don't think
No, it's the same. It's
I
just
want the
your preference.
marshmallow.
Okay. Ah. Okay. It like
I think I ate
disappeared
it.
for a whole second.
I accidentally ate it.
Did you
It's
cook
okay.
it?
Nope.
so. Uh-oh.
Oh,
That's not
okay. Well,
It's
that's
okay.
fine.
good. How's your
Hey,
stamina?
Fan. It's fine.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
I'd say it's quite good.
Okay, I'm kind of glad it's
Oh,
not the mushroom
cool.
area.
We don't have the
'cause-
thorns on the vines.
Yeah, we could climb them.
Wow, this is gonna go so well.
Glizzies
I don't know,
are
I
for
feel like this was
glizzy
the hardest area
gobblers,
for
and
me.
marshmallows are for marshmallow
Oh,
munchers.
same.
Oh my gosh.
But without the thorns on the vine, it's like at least a bit
Mushy.
easier in my
Sunny.
opinion.
I think all three of us are glizzy gobblers, unless none of us are
No.
glizzy gobblers.
I sure as hell am not.
I guess I was focused more on the word gobbler at first.
Oh, I'm like,
Kind of gave me a mental image. Did Rin show you?
I'm
my-
a-
It's
I showed some people.
Careful.
I am not a wiener enjoyer.
No, I don't.
show you my Christmas gift to her. No.
I'll show it to you. Sun commissioned Christmas art of us together. It's
That's
so cute.
What?
cute.
I want to see.
Okay,
Sun,
we
if you
go
can
down.
find a way to like send it in the. Oh, why don't you post it in the Discord?
I don't think Sin is in the Discord.
No.
Well, I can copy paste it from
Yes.
Discord. How to
I
know
have-
if I am holding Vine?
I have the antidote.
I'm holding it.
You're holding it. You have antidote?
Hi.
Did you
I
guys
don't
just
have it in
drop
my
from
bag.
here?
Antidote. There you go. Yeah.
Yes.
There's
No,
also
don't. Keep going to
three-
the tree.
3 balloons.
Drop on the tree. Little
Grab on the
back.
tree.
drop on the tree. Yeah, just hit E. You should be good.
E.
Q? Or space?
Lava.
There you go.
It was space.
Okay.
I think space unstuck me or whatever. Yay! Okay, what's in this chest? Do you need me to get it?
Huh?
It's
No.
just
What is this?
balloons.
There's balloons if you want them.
You get an
I can put 'em
achievement
in my
if you wear 6
backpack.
of them.
Excuse me.
There we go. Man, I
Nice.
love strawberry lemonade. Do you guys like strawberry lemonade?
Yes.
I
BTOS high.
can't drink it.
That's okay. That means I can have yours.
Yeah. Yeah, I would
Me
order
too.
it just so you could have extra.
Guys, I'm so sorry. I have to go.
What?
I'll be right back in like 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I thought you had to go for good. I
I know. I was
was
like,
like,
what? That's the sudden.
no. Coconut. You put the lime in the coconut and mix it all up.
Yeah.
Where did Rin go? I don't know.
She's gone, girl. Hi.
Hi.
Just like lands on me.
Watch out, you're in the range of my coconut.
Man, this
What?
is Wendy.
See,
Score.
anytime I hit you with
Man, this is
something,
a
it doesn't
Wendy's.
work.
No, it doesn't work if it's a half.
Oh.
It only works if
That's
it's a
dumb.
whole. Yeah, it is dumb.
I eat it. That's what I think.
I've...
I'm
Hi,
gonna look
Mashi.
this
It's
way.
been BTOS. Hi, Mashi. Hello, BTOS.
Hi guys. Korufu.
Hi.
Korufu mo daisuki. She's already prepped with the punk fit. She knows coming. No, I just pressed the number 2 on my number pad.
This way.
I got something for you, Rin.
For me?
Yeah.
Where are you? Oh, there you are.
I'm right here.
It's your
For
bananas.
it's for your diet.
It's for your diet. Oh, why am I poisoned?
Your banana and rice diet.
Why am I
I
poisoned?
left it on for you, Core. Hydrate.
What
thank you.
happened? What'd
I
you
don't
do?
know. I'm suddenly poisoned. I opened this chest and it hurt me.
You opened the
Oh.
chest and it poisoned you?
Oh,
Yeah.
are there like
There's something in the
it looks
ground
like
here. There's like
spikies.
spikes. Yeah.
No, the thorns appeared. What?
Are you kidding?
Oh my gosh, that's so small.
What?
Daisuki daisuki. Ah.
They just
Yeah,
appear like
crazy.
that?
That's so mean.
They like weren't there before, right?
No.
Oh my god, there's so many
I
bananas. I could live
swear.
for 3 days on all these.
Do you have space for bananas in your
I
heart?
do have
I
space for
have-
bananas if you want to give them.
I have.
Oh, wait.
Back
Not in the
back.
backpack, just in
You
my
got-
hands.
Oh, okay, here I'll put some in Mashi's backpack.
I didn't know you guys were going to
nay,
bananas.
nay, nay, yes.
Well, first it was
Banana.
sausages, and now it's
Bananas.
bananas, okay? It's
B-
weirdly
Bananas.
phallic
Bananas.
for a 3-wife
There
stream.
you go. It's
little-
my banana. That's the difference.
Yeah, it's
Your
a Sims
banana.
banana.
I don't think that's the right way. We gotta go. We gotta go
Okay.
this way.
All right, we're ready. We're nanted up.
Nana.
we're nanted up.
we're so nanted up.
I'm so nannered right now. I'm nannered so hard.
So
gonna
there's
nana
no
so hard.
tree we can stand on, so we're gonna jump to this.
Oh.
Okay, can
okay.
you wait and maybe demonstrate it while I'm watching?
Yes, I will wait.
Can I just jump on this and climb it like it was a mountain?
Yes.
But this one,
Okay.
you gotta
So,
come
yeah.
here.
Run, jump.
Make sure you hold space.
Okay.
There you go.
Yay! I did it!
Yay!
You did it! Yahoo! Oh, I thought that was wind. That did not look like water for a second. That was
It
crazy.
Blends in with the snow, doesn't it?
Yeah. Can I go up? Yeah.
Now I can never hear the word banana again without that line in Donkey Kong Bonanza. Banana! Every time I get a banana. Ooh, banana! You know, Dran, I had forgotten about that actually.
No.
I was free of it, and now it's back.
Careful.
Can we
Did either
go
of you guys
this
play the
way?
Donkey Kong game?
I didn't.
No.
I can't
was really fun.
afford.
But I guess you have to have a Switch 2 to play it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you do.
Maybe you don't.
I'm excited for the Animal Crossing update in like
Yeah,
a week
me
or
too.
two. I have to get Nintendo Switch Online temporarily. So I can visit your island if you're gonna play.
Do I have you added? I don't know if I do.
I don't think we're friends on Switch.
This needs to change.
It
Oh my god,
does,
it's got
immediately.
slippery! Ugh! You saved my life.
You're welcome.
There's a
You
price.
can get on
this
my
much, you can
online
get in my
plan.
online
What? I can't.
I have a family plan too, but it's full, otherwise I'd offer.
How much? How much do I give you?
I charge my subscribees $10 a year.
Oh, that's great.
I know,
$10
right?
a year?
Yeah.
Dang.
All right.
That's great.
So Shark, you can't charge the
I take
I
donations,
take donations,
but
but
nobody's
nobody's
donated to
donated
me
Yeah,
yet.
there you
How
go.
much do you want?
It's really like $80 a year for the family plan. So it's
And
really
what does it
not
come in? What's
at all.
included?
Nintendo
it
Switch
like-
Online.
But
Oh, a
can you
chain
play like the
launcher.
emulator
Okay.
stuff?
Yep.
Ooh.
All right. What do you have? Let's see.
I'll take the chain launcher.
I'm
I
gonna
have
take-
bandages. Is anyone hurt?
Oh, Shark says I
No,
don't have
but
to
I-
do one.
Oh, you
Here,
don't
let
have a
me
fancy
eat this, and then
Oh,
I'll put
no,
the
this
bandages in
peel.
there.
Oh, watch
Okay.
out for this peel
There you
on
go.
the ground.
Oh my god. Are you stuck?
Oh no.
You seem like you were stuck.
Okay, so
Did you drop it on your feet?
I dropped it on my own feet.
I had
was
to
like,
yeah,
like.
watch
Shark.
when you guys
I
trip, and I am
clipping
clipping
that.
that.
Yes,
No.
please. Don't hit that. Do not hit that. You will
Don't
die.
hit that. Okay. I wouldn't hit that.
Would you
I'd
hit
hit it.
this?
No.
No.
That's not on my
Oh, here's
Hear me out.
another.
that is not on
Here's
my hearing
another
out.
kit that I
It's
could put in.
raining. I have to wait.
Well, are you stuck in the tree?
Can I come hold my
Wait.
hand out for you?
I just
Oh,
have to
that
wait
not
for the
help.
rain to go away. Because it's hard to climb.
I have a med kit I can put in someone's bag.
Oh, okay, that was fine.
I think my bag's full, but we could take something out of it.
Let me see what you got.
Oh, I have inventory slots. Here, I'll just pick
Oh,
it up.
okay, yeah. Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna
That
take
works.
this just in case we need it. And then I'm gonna put. Turn around. I'm gonna put this in here.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just not allowed to bend over, okay?
Ah,
Don't bend over.
Because of my surgery, I have to
Yeah,
keep my
don't
head
bend
elevated.
over.
Yeah.
What is the green? Oh, that's the fart cloud.
Another.
Wait, where'd
oh
you
my
guys go? You
God.
told me to turn around and then you disappeared.
Okay, rope cannon and another med kit.
I have an inventory slot open.
Okay, I will give you the med kit right here,
Thank you.
and then I'm gonna eat this banana,
Eat a banana. Ooh,
and I'm
banana.
gonna throw this
I'm gonna eat
into
this
the
banana.
sun.
Is there a
And
way I
then
can, like, hold no
take
item
this.
out in front of me? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, just click the number that it's on, like 1, 2, or 3.
Oh,
go.
thank you. Man, sorry to be so clueless.
No,
No,
I
you're
like
fine.
teaching.
I'm really having fun though.
We all started somewhere, you know, like.
Yeah, but maybe I should have trained.
No, you're training with us. That's
Okay.
the best time to
That's
train.
the training montage.
They're my teachers.
Oh boy, I can't see anything.
I can't either.
Yeah, I'm like,
It's snowing and raining and.
Okay, the
Oh,
rain
there's-
stopped.
Okay, let me see.
Let me see. There's a.
I think we should go this way, and then
Like
Do
up
you
here.
have
yeah,
the? Wait, how do you
Bugle of
check
Friendship?
your?
I have it.
No. How do you check? Wait, achievements.
The grapple would probably work.
Accolade. What's the one for
Perhaps.
the tree?
The one for the tree.
Where
that's
you like
a-
climb the tree? Arborist badge? Okay, yeah. Do you okay. Rin, if you
Yeah.
hit escape
Yeah.
and then go to accolades.
Yeah.
Do you have arborist badge?
What?
It's just like it just has like a big green tree on it.
Which line is it? Is it
It's
for-
I have a
blue.
big
It's
green
on
tree.
it's on the second line.
No, I don't have that.
Okay. So if you want, we can climb this giant tree here. All the
Oh,
way
to
to
get
the
the
Get
top.
a badge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Will we
If you
get other
wanna-
badges if we just progress normally instead?
Possibly. I don't know. I guess it depends on what you
I'd
do.
love to climb the tree.
Okay. I just figured if you wanted something. and
Yeah,
it's
you can help
easy.
me get a patch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is
I
that
eat
my
this
banana peel?
It's mine.
It might be mine or it's yours.
It's
Hi.
fine. Yeah.
Oh hi Cox! Happy New Year, Cox!
Hi, Cox.
Watch out. Watch out for this. Here, I'm gonna throw it into the sun. So nobody has to
Yeet.
worry about it. Yeah.
See ya.
Okay, let's see. If we go this way, just watch out for the pod thingy there.
Uber.
Yeah, and then we'll have to pause for a second because I feel like it's gonna rain again. Can't climb in the rain.
Okay.
Oh, I'm slipping.
Or actually, I mean, I was gonna say I could use my rope, but here, let me see.
Tell
It'll
me if
start
you're
raining.
running out of stamina and I could use the horn.
Okay.
I think she'll make it.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
go.
I'm good.
So we could just climb
Okay.
straight up.
Oh, there's a. Oh, yeah, wait till it's done raining. That's what I was waiting for because I was like, I know it's gonna happen. Oh, there's
Is
a
it
big
raining
one.
right now? Bruh.
There's rope and a piton.
Oh, I'm
The
fine.
piton would be good.
Fighting.
Did we lose sending clips privileges again? No, is something wrong?
Shark
Oh
tried to post a
yeah,
clip of me
sorry.
tripping
I
on my
have
own
to
banana peel.
re-enable it.
Foisted by my own petard.
Yeah, let me re-enable that real quick.
Where am
Okay,
I?
stop raining. Sin, I'm coming for you.
Okay. Oh, I see you now. I look. I look.
I see your hand. Oh, thank
There's
Incoming.
Post
a
clip I did
couple of
earlier.
items up
Hi,
here that
Tim.
might be useful.
In the treasure?
Or yeah. So
in the
the
present?
the piton or
Yes.
however you say that is a good one to have.
Is anybody injured at all?
No.
new?
What's in my
Let's see.
backpack?
What is my? Oh, Mashi has a space. Oops, sorry. Excuse me.
I ate a
Here,
banana.
I'll put it in. I'll put it in yours. There you
Put it
go.
in the back.
Well, I
And
can't leave behind Bing Bong. Everyone will hate me.
no, it's fine. And then
Maybe
let's
it's a
see.
professor thing?
Do you want
I think it's
me?
a Star Trek thing.
Shark, you should
it
be
sounds
able to
hard.
post clips now or video share now.
We should be fine without the rope because I've got the rope cannon. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do.
I could eat this banana.
Oh,
Eat the
okay.
banana.
I could
that
eat.
banana. Eat that banana.
Eat that banana.
Also,
Eat that banana.
Eat that banana.
Okay. Oh, I almost walked into that. Okay, so
This
after
is the
it
tree.
is done raining, we're gonna go to this branch and
I'm
hang
sorry,
out for
Shark.
a second.
It didn't work.
Oh boy.
I think it only does YouTube clips. No, that's not
Okay.
true because I've had Shade post
And then
Twitch clips.
regains stamina.
Oh
And
no,
then
if
we're
only
just
there was a
gonna-
mod that could refund that.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Could
And then
you
we're just
perhaps
gonna go
watch
up.
out? Don't fall!
We're just going branch by
You're
branch.
slipping. You're slipping.
I don't want to be slipping.
Here, let me get up. Let me move out of your way.
I don't know if I know that song by heart, Dran. Now it's raining.
Be careful, don't slip.
Sin is standing still, no problem, and I'm wiggling like an idiot.
No, I'm moving occasionally.
Oh,
Like,
okay,
I
I
have
see.
I have to watch my feet.
Watch those toesies.
Concentrating very
Just
What
don't
am
do
I
a
hard.
thinking
flip.
wearing flip-flops on this vacation?
Okay,
Okay,
come.
now you can go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You might need to stand a little back so Sin can stand. There you go.
Okay. Where's the next branch?
I think it's here.
Right above our heads, isn't it?
Well,
Or is
I
there
think
one around the
it's-
side?
There's one around the side, I think. Yeah, it's around the
Hi,
side.
JJ. Am I good to go?
Yeah. I'm back up so you guys have room.
Climb, 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 climb.
Tell me if you're running out of stamina.
I think I'm okay.
Okay. I'm coming.
Yeah.
I made it.
Oh,
No, I'm
wait.
not. I'm not coming.
No, no.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, wait until the rain's done.
Sorry, I was drinking my tea. My model kind of flips out when I drink stuff.
Oh,
You're having your tea, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Arizona
Mashi.
dragon fruit mango.
ooh, that one's good.
I love
Dragon fruit
that
tea?
one. Dragon fruit mango.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like it would be good, but I know it wouldn't taste good.
No, you're wrong.
It's yummy.
It's like
Yeah,
juice.
it's yummy.
It tastes like
Tastes like-
juice.
You're wrong.
Have you
It
never
doesn't
had an
taste as good as
Arizona
apple
before?
juice, right? Mashi's model has a drinking problem. Oh, it's actually JJ typed a dinking problem. That's only for Sunday.
Only for
You're gonna have to
Sunday.
wait for dinking.
Alright. Oh, watch out, Rin. Be careful.
Thanks.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
Okay.
I'm focused. I'm locked
Yeah.
in.
Where are we
Locked
going
in.
next?
Alright. Yeah, Mashi, you're leading.
This
It's
way?
up that one, yeah. We're going
Sapphic Sunday
that
back.
one.
Sapphic Sunday is back this weekend, baby. Oh, how'd you get on that?
I did a
She jumped on the
yeah. I turned around and
You,
just
like,
pressed space.
there. Yeah.
Okay, so you jumped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here goes.
You got this.
Yoink!
Uh oh.
Ooh. Oh, you got it. Oh.
Oh my gosh! It's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
Okay. Oh, it's
Oh,
raining.
I was like,
That was really close. I'm so sorry.
that scared me
You
because
scared
it
me.
turned red, and I was like, "Oh, Satan!"
I still have my electricity
Satan
extra.
has been summoned.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so
It's so
lucky I have my
bright.
cuddle buddy with me. Aw, cute.
Oh wow.
Son or Herman?
Yeah, son or Herman.
Or David?
Put this one.
This one.
This one.
Son doesn't even need a human to cuddle anymore.
Herman,
Son
I'm
has a
power
really
washing.
good
Oh.
So you can actually come up to this branch.
Do you think I
And
should go or do you
then-
think I should wait?
Is it raining?
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, just wait. We don't have a time
I did
limit.
wait too long.
I know as soon as you start climbing, it's gonna rain, so.
Right as soon as I start. When we were going to my pre-op doctor's appointment, it was scheduled for 3 o'clock and they didn't see us until like 4:45. It was insane.
Wow.
Like the receptionists were gone. Like they went home.
Oh my gosh.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, that was
It's
pretty bad.
so fucking warm.
But
I've
I
never
said
known
as soon
such
as we
warm.
take out the Nintendo DS and start trying to play Picross, they'll come. And we
And they
waited an hour and
did.
a half, and then we took out the DS, and then
Oh my goodness.
the rest is history. Uh-oh. Thank you.
Oh, this is Dunzo.
Oh! Did you just toss it?
Yes, it's done. It has a bar.
No, the magic horn! What?
The magic horn is no longer magic.
Now it's just a horn.
Go
It's
up
just horn.
all the way.
Oh gosh. You're in. You're in the tree.
Wait, why did I go a different way?
No!
Okay.
No, Sid!
Oh.
Rin!
No.
Rin!
It's fine, I'll
Wait.
just land on this other tree, right?
No.
Okay,
Oh,
okay, you're
I
good.
got you. I got you. I got you.
You got the badge!
Got you. You got it! Yay!
Yay! I forgot what you
Yay!
get for the.
And there's a present for you right there. Yeah, that's your.
I have
What's
the
your
tree!
gift?
Okay, let me look at the okay, I'm gonna open it.
Yay! Yeah.
Oh, there's two!
Oh, there's two. Nice.
Nice.
There's an energy drink and nuts and a lantern, and then there's also this one that has Bing Bong on it.
Wow, the bing
It has a
bong.
cannon for some reason. A
The
scout cannon.
Cannon is dangerous.
Can you send a friend up ahead
Wait,
to scout
I
ahead?
can't grab this for some reason.
I mean, you can launch yourself and you won't get hurt, but
Can
I don't
someone
know
grab
where
the
you'll end
nuts and
up.
feed them to me.
Oh, I see. The aim isn't really...
no, it's not great.
Can somebody grab these nuts and feed them to me?
I'll feed you the nuts. Well, I can't.
Or
Pick it
can
up.
you not? Oh, okay, so it's not just me. All right. Oh,
Have a
Is
balloon.
it because I have I have no hands? No, this chest is glitched.
oh.
Oh, and now this is.
okay.
Oh, wait.
Uh-oh.
I
Oh, wait, no. I saw it like a second. Okay, yeah.
maybe if I nudge it. No, nothing.
No. It's fine. Okay.
Okay, where
All
are we
right.
going?
Backpacks.
I'm feeling a little crazy.
I
I see a vine that I want to jump to, but it's way far down.
What if you take the cannon
You want to try?
after the rain?
Yeah.
Let's
So we-
do it.
Put it like maybe here and aim it.
Where am I aiming for?
Don't put it down yet. Let's wait.
Where do I want to end up?
Where do you want to end up?
At the top.
Can you point at it, please?
You want to
Oh, you
land
just-
there so you could get the present? Like,
Where are you pointing? Oh, there? Okay, I could try.
I will jump down and revive you if I can.
Adjust angle.
I thought the cannon was dancing. You might end up like past.
Wait, do I have to be in it?
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to be in it.
How do you get in it?
Uh-oh.
I put it on the edge. How do you get in it?
I
Oh,
think you
gosh.
should be able to climb and
Oh.
then.
That's,
Oh.
that's wait a minute. Oh, we could use the checkpoint flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
It only works for one of us though, so.
Well, I'll go.
Yeah, you use it. There you
So
go.
I can launch myself. So I can attempt to launch myself in the. You can climb in it, and it's kind of magnetic. Says Shark.
Yeah, we can light the fuse.
Ready?
Okay. Yep.
Oh.
Well, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, she landed perfectly!
Okay, your turn, Mashi.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay, I'm ready. No, I'm not ready.
What? Okay.
I'm holding out my
Okay,
hand for you.
okay. Light it.
Ready?
Yeah, you have to wait. How will Sin get to us?
She has to light
Oh.
it before.
Oh.
She has to light it before she gets in.
No. I
Okay, just
can
make
do
sure you
it.
keep holding down the mouse button, okay? But Mashi, are you all right? What happened?
I'm good. I'm like right under you.
Oh, really? Okay, good. Let me know if you need a hand.
Okay.
Wait.
You gotta
Watching Sin. Wait, don't go yet, Sin. Don't go
Oh,
yet.
whoop. Okay, wait.
My cannon aim. You know what? It's because I'm good at angles.
You're great at angles. Oh, are you okay?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Sounds
I just have,
painful.
like, the the
Not boss,
lingering
more like
cough.
mob beepy girl.
You're
She's
an
an angle.
angle.
A cute angle.
A cutest.
Excuse me.
Okay,
All right.
we're
All
ready
right,
for
light
ya.
that fuse, get in that hole.
Okay.
That's what I say every time.
Oh no! Wait.
Oh
Just
no.
let me-
Don't say, oh no, wait. Light the fuse, get in the hole.
What the?
Yes! Yes! No!
Oh no!
Ow! Oh no.
Grab the vine, bro.
Good job.
Anyway, nailed it.
We nailed it.
Nailed it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
trying to get
Just
up.
as intended.
I'm trying to get to you, Ren. I think you're still in this tree, right?
I honestly have no idea if it's the same tree. Ow.
Oh no, it is. I'm right under you.
I was like, wait, where are you, Mashi?
Hello. Hello.
Oh, hi.
Let me band-aid
Hi.
myself.
Okay.
I have a small bandage if you have a small.
I have a small one.
Okay. Oh, you got her? I'm sorry.
Well, I tried to climb up to the next part, and I don't have enough stamina because I'm too hungry. Do you guys have something to eat?
I have my hot dog,
have
and
any.
there's a water bottle up here,
That gives you extra
and an
stamina.
antidote up here.
Whatever anyone would be willing to let me eat, I would appreciate it. Otherwise, I bet if somebody top and holds their, if somebody else goes to the top and
What
holds
the
their hand out, I'll
fuck?
probably make it.
Shark, you
I'm
have
up
a
here.
hot dog holding emote? What
You
the
have a hot dog?
Present the hot dog. Oh, it's still raining.
May I present your dinner?
Alright. Come on up. I see Mashi.
Yeah, I'm right behind Mashi. But I only have about half my stamina bar.
Okay. We're reaching. We're reaching.
Oh!
Whoa, what is happening?
Well, I climbed up inside a layer of the tree.
Yeah.
Wait, you have 3 different hot dog emotes? 4 different hot dog? Wait, is that like a ghost hot dog? Or is it just like a hot dog that's half covered in white liquid?
Oh my god.
Because that's kind of what
Oh.
it looks like, and I'm upset about it.
It's a ghost dog.
Okay.
It's a ghost dog.
There's an antidote.
I think
Do we have room?
Don't make
anywhere
Mashi
for
lick
that?
I already have an
Okay.
antidote, don't I?
You can never have too many.
Oh, now I can't pick up my backpack. Oh, there
Uh-oh.
it goes. I just have to be the right angle.
Don't
Since it's
think
our
this
friend
is
Ghost,
the
I'll let it
way.
slide. Hey, Dark Stars. How are you?
Dark Star, hi.
Why am I poisoned?
Are you standing on a plant?
Thank you
Wait,
for the
no,
head
there's
pat.
nothing here. What the heck?
Are you continuing to be poisoned, or was it just a
stop,
little?
stop. Don't
Wait,
stand in
you
the
have a
middle of the
tick.
tree.
Wait, stop. Don't move. Don't move. Don't move.
Oh, you have a tick.
Stop moving. Rin. Stop. Oh my god.
If you had
This.
started with Rin, stop moving, that would have helped. Instead, it was just
You
stop
could
moving,
feed
stop
it
moving,
to
stop moving,
Ren.
Rin.
Okay.
Oh,
You
me.
see this?
Can I eat that?
No. I
Yes,
mean, you
you
can.
can.
You want to eat it?
Will it poison me?
No.
Oh no.
I'm very
It's just-
hungry.
Oh. Well,
That'll help.
here you go. Bottoms up.
Ew. That actually helped so much.
Really? Oh my god. I'm gonna
Okay.
eat this
It's like
for you.
3/4 of my bar now. So that healed me like 25%.
I don't
Nice.
know
Well-
where.
I don't
You
think
want-
this is a good place to be.
Yeah, we might need to go down
Go down.
that way to the other.
The cannon shot was so good.
Yeah, we
Is it the
did
villain
it.
from One Piece? No, it was a tick.
Well, I guess we
The
could
tick fruit.
go down.
We're going. Okay.
Ooh.
Gum fruit.
You okay?
Well, yeah, I'm good.
There's a gap here. Be careful.
Rain. Oh wait.
Oh my god, can't believe I survived that. Baby Bob. Oh, is
Are
it
you
time
hurt?
to feed you?
Listen.
No, I'm good.
Give her a little pet for me.
I will. Here, this is from Ren. Yeah.
Someday the rain will stop. It's so romantic. Just look into your glittering eyes.
I'm
Oh, don't-
here, but I'm gonna step away for a second. I have my headphones on still, but
Okay.
I gotta
Okay.
feed her,
Okay.
so you might hear some noises from me feeding her.
I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
it. You're just going straight down, Mashi?
Yeah.
Salmon, baby bot? Yeah.
Ouch, that hurt a little.
Yeah, there you go.
And then where?
Behind you.
Okay, I see. Let me just get my stamina back.
Okay.
Oh god.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah,
Chat.
there
Hey,
go,
you
baby
should
bot.
hit. No. No, we
Yeah.
shouldn't.
Nuh-uh.
But unless.
Unless.
Haha, I'm just kidding. Unless.
Oh.
Unless.
Feels disappointment suddenly.
Unless you'd like it. If you'd like it, then I wasn't kidding.
I like anything that has to do with you. Not to be gay
Dad,
or
is this
anything,
Riz?
but
This is Riz. I believe it is.
oh,
That was really good. We were watching a really old TV show during dinner tonight.
And I was in it.
No. I don't think you might have been born. You might have been
Oh.
born with the
Okay.
The Riz eyebrows, yes.
I think it was
Yeah.
from like 1979. No, that's too old
Oh.
for you, isn't it?
Yes!
Yeah, no, I didn't exist.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
how old do you think I am? Jeez.
I think I might have been thinking about Taryn.
No.
Yes, that's more, yeah. No. No. I don't know.
No, that's still way too old.
That's
Jamie,
sweet.
hi. I hope you're doing good. I hope you had a good semester or however long it's been. Hope you had a nice winter break. Good internship, all that, whatever all that stuff you did was. I hope that was good.
Guys, I think we're stuck.
Uh-oh. No. Oh.
I don't know where to go from here.
Here, I'll check it out when it stops raining.
Okay. I have a chain launcher, but I don't know. That's not great right now.
Yeah, I totally get it, Jamie. I'm glad you're doing good. Anyway, during the show,
Ooh. There's the little thing on the other side here.
Okay.
So if you could just get past that little part. There's like a little ledge here.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
need a hand.
Ooh.
Oh,
You
Oh,
ed it. You
I'm
got
fine.
it. Yeah, you
yeah,
did
there were a
it.
little bit of.
Anyway,
a
they were
lip
like, this guy has charisma. And so I turned over to my husband and I was like, could you imagine if he had just said, and this guy's got the riz? Almost black and white.
Should we
Oh.
go up, do you think? Or should we just keep going over to try to get there?
Probably over.
Chat,
Okay.
when did Columbo first air?
Actually, okay, no.
Hey, Boo.
Hello, boo.
Chat, famous Boo's merry-go-round is here.
What?
Could we get a shout out for them?
Okay.
I don't think I should take that.
I think I
1971?
can
Okay,
Lower.
Son, you were
a
definitely
thing.
Sin. You were definitely not alive.
No, I was not. Here, I can,
Do we have a plan here?
Don't
think I'm doing it
follow me.
there.
Don't follow
I-
Machi.
Don't
Understood.
follow me.
I made a rope happen in case that helps.
Oh, that does help significantly. Okay, go ahead, Ren.
How did you get there?
Climb around where you're at on the
Around
right.
this.
Yeah, and then jump to the rope maybe if you're in.
Then jump to the rope and you gotta press E to get. Why am I doing this? It's too slippy.
Flippity.
Okay, I'm gonna jump and then I'm gonna press E to grab the rope.
Yeah.
Or do you just click on the rope? Click and hold.
E.
You press E.
Are you using stamina?
Hey, jump!
Oh.
Uh-oh.
What the
Uh-oh.
hell? I died.
No!
I'm so sorry.
I'm right next to a beehive too.
Oh.
Beehives are good. Should I jump down
It's
and go
okay.
get her?
I'll become a ghost.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
You're with us in spirit. Mashi, where are you at?
Spirit. I am struggling.
Can you get to the rope or? Oh. Oh, I
Wait,
see you. I see
Can you grab me?
Oh, it
Yeah.
respawned me back at the cannon.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, you had a checkpoint.
Oh my god.
I don't. Could you give any sign where you are?
I think we see. We're
looks-
like.
See my
Yeah,
finger?
we.
See you guys. I see you guys.
Yeah.
See me?
Yeah, I see
Yeah,
you.
I see you.
Do you see me dancing?
I do. I see you.
Should we go back for
Yeah,
Ren?
Jamie, you were right.
Oh,
I'll
look,
carry my way
Maria.
back over there.
You could sell
Okay.
that.
You can sell that beehive. It was 1492? No, it wasn't. It was 1971. Weren't you listening?
6 or 7 cannons.
BTOS is literally speed
Oh, I
running.
was like, where did you go?
Right above you.
I'm sorry that your fart hurt your stomach.
Oh.
That's gross. Too much information. I wish I could reposition the cannon.
Yeah.
Powerful fart.
How's your health and stuff? Oh, there she goes.
Oh!
Did you see where she landed? Hex, thank you for the
I landed in the same spot I landed the first time.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
I don't know what's
nice.
wrong with you guys.
I'm
Oh.
bad.
Wow, why'd you have to say it like that?
You asked to see my ear scar. I didn't ask to hear about your fart.
Oh, I want to see your ear scar.
So the picture I have is like a little bloody. That's why I wasn't showing it to people. But BTOS was like, that's fine. And so I said, okay, I'll show you. So if you're okay with seeing
That's
a
how
little blood,
friends are made. Farting.
BTOS a fart smeller. I mean, if you got a nose. All right, can you do a finger to show me where you're at? Do I have to go? I have to go like this.
We're
this
so
direction.
far from you. Hold on, it's
I was hoping it would
foggy.
just turn me into a ghost and then I could just haunt you around for a bit. Sun more like honey bun, cause she's a sweetie.
I'm slowly getting hungry. Do I have any food?
Yeah, I have like no food. I just have the healing mushroom.
Rin, I love you. I love you too.
Okay. Do you see?
I'll just meet you at the top. Like, don't even worry about it.
But no friend left
You sure?
behind.
Yeah. We're supposed to do this together.
I know, but I can't get to you.
Did you find an easy
I want you
way
to
to
come
climb
all the way
up?
back.
Yeah, you're facing the right way. Like,
I'm
'cause we
facing the
just-
right way.
Well, no, because like we climbed that side to get to that other.
I have a
part-
rope, but that's only for putting down, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Do you want
What
us
else do
to
I have?
come back?
Thank you for the lurk sack.
I have antidote, first aid kit, bing bong. Maybe I should just leave this backpack behind so I get more stamina.
No.
No, we can't leave bing bong.
No.
That would just be
You-
fucked up.
Do you want us to come back for you?
You can come back.
I mean, like, I could really only play for 15 more minutes anyway. So I feel like it would be a waste. What if I throw myself off this so I can become a ghost and spectate you?
That's your
Yeah!
choice. Okay. Oh, there she goes. Watch her survive.
No, I died.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, well,
She wanted to be a
No,
ghost.
you
She wanted to
sorry.
be with us. I'm going
I wanted to be
up
with
soon.
you. I'd rather be with you in
I
spirit.
see
than-
your ghost.
Hi.
I'm here.
Hi.
Hi.
I see you waving at
Hi.
me.
I'm so excited. All right. We are almost to
Who's
the
this
top.
nice lady in between the Mashi Rin bread? So this is one of, well, I guess this is our other wife, Sin.
One of our wives.
Yes.
Me and I think she's the only wife that me and Mashi
It was a
share.
joke. It was a joke.
I
I
don't,
don't
know.
have
I'm
many
sorry.
wives.
We're
Just you
a
and Ren.
She's
Oh,
one of my
oh,
many wives, but she's the only wife that Mashi and I share.
Yes.
And she's a mob boss.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't worry though, guys.
Oh.
She
Well,
doesn't
that's
do any of the
tempting.
crimes.
That is
She's
very
just the boss.
tempting.
of
We
the
need
game.
It's
food.
so tempting,
Yeah,
right?
we need
Okay.
food.
Like,
We can
so
run and
there's
jump and press
bananas.
E and try to get there quick.
Yeah. There's food, but then also like the suitcases.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
BTOS, I
Oh,
really don't
dude.
want to create a rule that to ban 6-7 because of you. I really don't want to do that. Can we just
They already
move on
got it banned
to a
in one of
different
their
show?
chats. Yeah.
Like it's not funny anymore.
Okay. I have the bananas.
Ooh, banana.
Thank you. Ooh, banana. You can DM me your 6-7 jokes if you must.
Here,
Get them out.
Mashi.
Sometimes it's better out than in, you know.
Oh,
have
there's so many
Oh my
chests
god,
up
look
here.
at them!
Thank
They're
you.
so cute together. Feeding the other one a banana and then eating the peel off the cliff. Nuts!
Yeah, nuts.
Okay. Oh, here's a checkpoint flag.
Info nuts.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Nuts. Nuts.
Nuts.
Oh, there was another one. I didn't even see that. Oh, the piton. Wait, actually, let me take that instead.
Well, you could just throw the checkpoint into the tree.
Oh, true.
Like, you might as well stick it where you are.
Hi, Shade.
Oh, wait, where'd it go?
With you, right?
Finally made it to 100 stream streak. Good job, Shade. Do you want me to plant
Wow.
it?
That's
I have
crazy.
space.
Yeah, plant it. Just plant it. It'll work for you.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're
there you go.
gardening together, guys.
Okay.
I did the thing.
Now.
So where's the?
Oh,
where's the
I
goal?
thought we
Where's
were
it
like
end up at?
closer, boy.
Can
Lord.
somebody
Yes.
look toward the goal?
I am looking.
That's the goal.
Oh, okay, I see. It was
Oh,
just very
We
hard to
could
see.
take
if
the
that was-
vine
cool.
back.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if going back. Hey, Jacob. So Mashi, what do you get for a 100 stream streak?
Nothing.
Oh.
It's just I don't know. I wonder if you get like a badge or something.
My undying gratitude.
Yes. What should I do? Should I do something fun for them?
Well, somebody who has
it.
33, the bee with knees, who has 33 in her name, when you get a 33 stream streak, she's like doing an art thing for you. I think Sun, when you get some, is like if you get to 50, you get VIP badge or something.
Oh. Shade's already a mod, so giving
Yeah.
him VIP would not be worth it.
The bee with the knees? Is that really their name? It has the bee with the knees? It's not just the bee with knees?
with the knees. I was gonna say
If you want to give her a shout out, go
B33.
ahead. Yeah, that's why it's 33. So since I'm Rinfinite, you don't get anything
Hi,
until you hit
Ninja.
an infinity stream streak. Oh, you died? Yeah, I died. It's okay. I'm still with them in spirit.
You are.
I don't know. This is...
Guys, I think I'm gonna give you the advice I heard from God. Okay?
Yes.
I think we go top left here.
Top left?
That's what God always says. I think we go top left here.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Oh.
recommend. I was gonna see if there was a lip or anything, but there's
Oh, okay. I was like,
Where the fuck?
not. Vine?
Should we go back or
It is
just keep going this
Okay, thanks,
way?
Shark.
We could try. We could keep going that way.
There's like little. I'm just like following the little.
Yeah,
No.
the side.
The
Oh,
little
no.
white things you can stand on.
Two gals being goats.
And one gal being ghost. Two goats and one goat. Goat. Wait.
Ghost.
Two goats and one ghost.
Yes.
I'm good at math.
You are.
Just a reminder. So
Need
this
it.
upcoming semester, I'm going to be teaching people who are going to become elementary school teachers. So I did some visits to an elementary school
Oh,
before
how
my
did that
surgery
go? I forgot to ask.
to observe like some actual elementary school teachers teaching
Mhm.
in the year of our Lord 2025. That was really cool.
Baby Bum.
There were a lot of YouTube videos involved.
Watch the little thingy here.
Oh, oh,
That
That's like
thingy.
when I dropped my banana peel on my own feet, except it wasn't funny.
I'm very hurt.
I have an antidote on my corpse.
I have
where
an
are you?
antidote.
Mashi.
I'm
Mashi
And
has
wait,
an
yeah. Okay. I forgot
Yeah,
about
Sin
that.
could
You
go
need-
for an antidote in a big way.
How
Come to me.
do I get over this without
I
getting
how'd
just
you do?
hurt?
jumped.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
Let me feed you.
Ooh.
feed me.
I mean, my antidote!
More?
Yes, please. Okay, yeah, I'm good.
Oh, beautiful.
Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great stamina bar. So clean. Mashi could use some food.
Yeah, a little bit.
But she'll
Oh,
be okay.
you need a
Ooh, that's
granola bar?
perfect. Oh, granola bar?
Granola bar?
Cappuccino.
Sensible crunch. That's fun. I fear in elementary school you will not escape the juvenile number humor, though. You know what? I didn't hear any brain rot
Hi,
phrases while I was in
Random.
elementary school.
Hey,
Random.
Oh my goodness.
Nice to see you.
You good?
Yeah, sorry, baby Bum's like she's just meowing and being demanding.
I'm spectating you and you're like standing
Peek
there
is
making
super
your
fun.
Riz
This is the
face.
first
Sorry.
time I'm playing with Ren.
Oh, did you just jump or like what did you do?
Yeah, I made a mistake though, and that's quite a pleasant surprise. Yeah,
Ooh, okay.
I watched a couple different math lessons.
Oh gosh, there's a fart cloud thing here.
Yeah.
A fart cloud?
Yeah.
Oh, that.
I'm scared. Okay. Because I was all
Got
like,
you.
be careful, and then I'm the one that like
Yeah, it's Mashi's turn next.
set it off.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Okay. We're almost there, Bashi. I can
are.
Oh, that's
feel
okay,
it.
son. You can send it again.
Ooh, ooh.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Okay. Just
You got this.
I'm on the other side of you.
You're so close to the top.
Okay.
You don't even have that much farther to go.
There's food. I
Food.
hope it's good food.
I hope it's good food.
A shroom?
Yeah.
The shrooms? Are those
X
the good
marks
ones
the
or
spot.
bad
Yeah, X marks the spot. Here.
Oh, I thought that means
Oh!
they're bad.
No, it's good.
Do you want me to Google it real quick before
Are
you
you
eat it?
sure?
No, I promise
it on my
you.
phone.
I promise you. It's good.
You
I'll
eat
eat it before
first.
you.
Mushroom with X. Peak.
The dotted ones are bad.
The X is the non-poisonous one.
Oh,
Yeah.
The poisonous one has spots.
I'm the fun
I'm-
guy expert.
okay. I'm sorry I
That makes
doubted
sense.
you.
Oh, hi.
This whole time.
Hi. You're so
This whole
close.
At
time.
elementary school, there was
Oh,
one
sorry.
kid who asked me why I was wearing a mask, and I was like, because I don't want to get sick. and he was like, oh,
Maybe that way.
I used to have cancer.
kinda.
I was like, oh,
Oh,
okay.
what?
Oh my goodness.
I was like, are you
Brother.
doing better now? And he was like, yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh,
good.
Did
I'm
you
glad,
get
but I'm
over
sorry.
And there was really only one kid who was being obnoxious.
Uh-huh.
There was one kid who he had snow boots on, okay? Like, his mom didn't send him with other shoes, so he was
Oh,
just wearing his snow boots the whole
no.
day.
Oh no.
Oh.
And so they were sitting on the carpet doing, like, a small group math lesson. And he was kind of a larger child, and he couldn't write on his paper on the floor because his boots were in the way.
Oh.
Like, he had his
Poor
paper on the floor, and he
guy.
was sitting on the floor, and he
kid.
couldn't read
Aw.
his paper.
Mashi, we did it.
We did
So he just
it.
sat there and didn't do anything. I tried to talk
We
to him
have
a little
to
and get him to do
summon
some work.
Rin.
Oh.
Wait, you can summon me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, are you actually close to the top?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was just saying that before to
I
encourage
think this
you.
is bad. I think I'm gonna go around.
Okay,
Uh,
sorry.
No, it's
I
okay.
didn't
Nice.
realize it would be a climb like that.
I didn't either.
And then there were kids like balance. You know how you have the little whiteboards
Yes.
in class where you can like write your answer on it and hold it up?
Mini whiteboards.
Do you know what I'm talking about or no?
Yeah, the like personal whiteboards.
Yeah, like a personal,
Yeah.
bigger than an iPad size. Holy fuck! What was
You're
Let's come
live!
back.
the line? I have to go to family time.
Um,
But we
No,
wanted you
okay.
with us.
Thank you for reviving me.
You're welcome. Oh, you.
Do you guys want to keep climbing? I can leave the. Oh, I want to read the scroll. Can I read it?
yeah.
Yes. You should read it.
Make sure you
Open.
actually press E, I think.
Dear diary, bad news. The ship captain made an oopsie, and we've wound up crashed on this mysterious island. Thankfully, mysterious islands are my specialty. With our whole troop working together, we'll reach the top of the peak and signal for help in no time. In the meantime, I'll take this opportunity to add some additional pages to my famous guidebook from Scoutmaster Myers. Whatever.
Yeah. So one achievement you can get is to read the pages for each checkpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe I had that one already.
Oh, okay.
Also, my husband just came and said I should keep playing. So.
Oh, okay.
Aww.
Yay!
Thanks, Mr. Red.
Thanks, Mr. Red.
My husband shows up and he's like, you know what? Why don't you play longer with your two wives?
He's a real one.
He is.
Hey, what time do you
Okay.
want me to end?
I
You want
have
stop at 9?
to use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Oh, I get a backpack.
I was just dead for 15 minutes. Okay, thanks, honey. Guys, if we don't find a natural stopping point, we can play all night.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so what do I need to be doing? William is
we're-
peaceful, so true.
We're waiting for Mashi to come back. I think she had to use the bathroom.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Alright, let's look at what we have. She has a piton.
Hey, let me finish my thought before it's gone
And-
forever. So they have a small whiteboard that's like an iPad size, and you can write on it with your little whiteboard marker, and then like if the teacher asks you a math question, you can write it down on there, and then you can show her the answer and see if you got it right. So they all have an individual whiteboard, and they were like balancing them on their heads. She told me to like flip them over and put them face down on the table when you were done, so somebody else could look at your answer and copy it. And a bunch of them put it upside down on their head, and they were just trying to balance it. Oh my gosh, and they don't have regular chairs in there anymore. They have these like stools that like you can't lean on them. You know how like a
What?
kid will like lean back in their chair?
Yeah.
It's like physically impossible to do that with these stools because there's no back.
What
You
the
can't
heck?
lean.
That's wild.
Anyway, yeah, so there wasn't really like weird brain rot sayings happening. There was just general goofiness from being children. Okay, now please resume. Let's take inventory of what we have.
Yeah.
We lost Bing Bong. What's even the point?
No.
So I have a piton and a healing fungus.
I have,
think Mashi just has a
wiener on a stick.
piton. Yeah, we're about to get another wiener on this.
No, that's the one I have.
Oh, okay. So we can cook it once.
What the heck? There you go.
Are
Can I
we all
cook it?
ready?
Make sure you cook it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it right this time.
Hold E.
I cooked it.
Okay.
Cooked hot dog.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah!
Yay!
Yeah!
Yeah!
We did it! Alright, is this
Are you winning?
one-
Yes, we are winning so
This
hard.
is the frozen one? Okay,
Yeah.
I have the lantern.
Okay.
Now what?
Let me get that. Okay.
Yeah,
So
we're all in Sandals and we
lantern-
climbed a tall ass mountain. That's correct.
Lantern will help us stay warm when the
helps us
blizzard
what?
comes. It helps us stay warm if we cuddle together when the blizzard happens.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Just hide behind rocks and trees and make sure.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
I see luggage.
Moshi's backpack. She's wearing a pack on her back. It's got some stuff in it. Oh no, she's got a snowball. I gonna do.
Ooh.
All right, don't sing a song about Moshi. Understood. Understood.
I'm sorry, it was so tempting.
It was really funny.
Oh gosh, that kind of. Why did that hurt me? What the heck?
Karma.
A drink. Okay. Pick that up.
A
and
drink?
put it in my backpack.
You should drink. Liquid's good for you.
Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh.
If I get in this little crevice,
Oh,
I'm into
This is
crevice.
bad. Oh,
oh
Okay.
yeah, this is not a good spot.
no.
But if
Ooh.
we all die, then we'll reach a natural stopping point. I'll have to stop
Yeah.
dying.
Oh, no, we can't die.
No.
We can't die
We gotta
until
make
2 or
it to
3
the
a.m.
top.
Okay.
Then I'll be ready. I actually
Alright.
haven't been able to fall asleep until 4 a.m. the past 3 nights. It's driving me crazy.
Oh!
Um,
I thought. Okay.
Are you good?
Oh, treasure!
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh god!
Jump.
I almost walked right off!
Yeah, that's what Sin did.
Yeah. I thought I would.
But you're okay,
No.
Sin?
Yeah, I'm good. Oh, a heat pack.
Heat pack.
We
I'm
might
not
need
cold
to take
anymore.
cover in a second.
How much does the hot dog heal me? Like full?
Yes.
Okay, so I should really try to save it.
Hmm.
Wakarimashita.
Where did you go?
I lost
I
insight.
went
Sin.
to the little hole because I thought it was gonna be a blizzard.
I see a
Um,
present. Corvus, hello.
Which direction am I supposed to go? Oh, there you are.
Wait. Okay. I'm gonna toss
are
this.
good.
Can you eat this apple?
Yes.
Can I eat that?
Eat it. This one.
Thank you. Can I have another one?
Yeah.
Please, may I have another? Ah!
Oh, I'm stuck in a tree. I'm stuck in a tree. I'm gonna pass out.
Oh
Ouch.
Run! Save yourself!
no!
I'm passing
coming.
out. Ugh. Oh God. It's
see
fine.
No!
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh,
It's fine.
Where are you?
I'm in a crevice.
I got your hot dog.
Thank you.
Hey, Corvus.
Can I have that heat pack or the lantern?
Where are you guys?
Wait, no, I think I'm
Yes.
okay for now.
Here, there's your hot dog.
Give me a
Thanks.
sign.
Do you need it? Are you good?
A little. Can you turn it on for just a little?
Yes.
Thank you. That's perfect.
Okay.
Okay, back up.
Where are you?
We're right
We're
here.
coming
That doesn't help!
Right here. Right behind you.
right
here.
behind you.
Right here.
Oh my gosh!
We- All right. We should look for little cubbies.
Yes. Little cubby there.
Yes, we should always have a cubby.
Yeah,
down.
let's go down that way. Just because I
You're
feel it in my
nervous?
bones. Ooh,
I
watch
feel like
that
we're not
big
supposed to go down.
hole though.
Where the fuck is Bing Bong?
Bing Bong?
Unfortunately, I died and he was in my backpack.
Yeah.
Casualty of war.
Is that
Casualty of
something?
war.
I tried really hard to bring him with me the whole way.
No, it's not. Oh.
Don't let anyone tell you I didn't try.
Ooh.
Come to me.
Mashi.
Come to me.
Oh.
You come
Okay.
to us!
Oh, we're right next to each other.
Yeah. The
You
lantern
good?
is almost out.
Okay.
Okay. No, not yet. Yes.
Are you hungry?
Okay. I am, yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Are you hungry?
Since
Since
face
Faith looks so
Are
sus.
you
She's got the
hungry?
riz.
Would you like some more?
I've got the
Please, Mum, may I have
ribs.
another?
Oh, there's food in that tree. Let's go.
There's food in that there tree!
There's food in that tree.
Run!
Run!
Run like your life depends on it, because it does.
Ha!
Hey, okay.
Ha!
Oh, you caught it. Okay. Oh, like,
You want
put
it?
it in my backpack.
In
Put
your
it in my
How do I get it?
backpack.
I got it. Is there another one up here, or is that it?
There's another one underneath you.
Underneath me?
Oh, no. Not quite.
Right there.
There.
Right there.
Well, I ran out of stamina anyway.
Oh, okay.
I have a feeling in my bones.
Yeah, I feel it, but I want
Does it happen like every certain amount of time, or is it kind of...
Yeah, I think it's like pretty.
Oh god! Safe right
Oh.
here.
I'm safe.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like it should be safe, but it is, and I'm not gonna
Yeah.
complain.
Okay.
Hey, I think you're kind of cute.
Oh, thank you.
I'm where the opened green present is.
Got it.
Be careful, there's a big hole.
This one.
Hi.
There is a big hole.
Careful, there's a big hole.
Okay, you said that. Oh, there you are.
Where are we supposed to go?
Up.
Oh,
How
that
about
way.
up,
Okay.
guys? What do you think about up? Like
Oh,
this.
I
think
think
that's
that sounds great.
What
Yeah.
about like this? Is that good?
Yeah,
I'm helping.
you're so
I think you should
helpful.
be calling the shots. You're so smart.
Presents everywhere for us.
Yay!
Yeah.
Santa's sleigh must have dropped them.
Oh, I have that feeling.
Oh
little crevice
no,
right here.
already?
Yeah.
I think we
I'm gonna
we
try this
can
little
climb
crevice.
and then we
Yeah.
In this warm little crevice. We'll just be in this. You don't need the lamp. You don't need the lamp.
I'm scared.
Waste it.
Okay. It's almost gone.
Don't waste it. See, we're fine.
Yeah. We didn't need it.
Da, 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 da. I have cookies.
Masha, you good?
Chat, can we get a big ups for Giga Chad, Mr. Rin, who is now taking out the trash?
Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah. We are
Can
the
we get a
same.
hell yeah? Can I get a what
We're just-
what?
We're both like, hell yeah. Did you find anything good?
I found
Mr.
fortified
Rin, we
milk.
love you. He's so talented.
I don't really know
What?
him, but he's
What?
true in my eyes.
Heat pat. Oh, I can hold these things.
Uh-oh. Down here, down here. Down, jump.
Oh!
Hi.
There we go. We don't need the lamp.
I just had like a teeny tiny bit, and then it's dead. So
Oh,
I
then just get rid of
use
it, I guess.
Yeah, I just
we
wanted
can
to
go.
use it.
I understand. We don't want to waste it.
Oh, I'm so hungry.
Do you
You're
want
hungry?
oh, I have a hot dog.
Cookies.
Oh yeah,
Mints.
cookies. Thank you. One more,
One more.
please.
Cookie?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank
Can
you,
I have
good,
one?
good, good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow, those are good.
Whoa, the
Thank you.
Christmas music.
They're thick mints.
Dude.
Oh my gosh. Hang on, I gotta adjust the volume in OBS. I just wasn't expecting it to have music all of a sudden.
Santa got slayed on this mountain. Slay.
That's unfortunate. It's a murder? Wait, this is a murder
No,
crime
he's
scene?
slain. He's slay.
Oh, well, it said got slayed.
Oh yeah.
I feel like slayed and got
music.
slayed are not the same energy. Sin, you would know.
Yeah.
So if it says Santa got slayed on this mountain, is Santa still alive, yes or no?
No.
Aww.
He's
If
gone.
Santa slayed on this mountain, then yes, he would be alive.
He'd get the top.
He got
be
slayed.
slain.
Damn.
Wait.
Mr. Shy Guy, hello, welcome in. I remember
Don't
you
call him out, he might
from
be shy.
my what was it? For democracy. What is it? Helldivers. Yeah, Helldivers stream.
I still haven't played that yet. I have it. I just
It's
haven't played
stressful.
yet.
I don't intend to play it.
We could
It's
play it on
stressful.
the easiest
So you would've
difficulty.
I don't intend to play it. I don't have interest in playing it. How about that?
You don't want to shoot bugs?
What
don't
is
really
that?
know.
What's
Oh, we've
that?
been good.
What's
This is
that?
the first stream of the year.
Or it's a
What's
weird
that?
mushroom.
What's that?
I'm having a
Okay.
great time. How are you?
Let us investigate.
Shelf shroom.
It looks like a mushroom.
Yeah, it's a shelf shroom.
A what?
Oh, I'm
Shelf
A
going
shelf. A
to-
shelf shroom.
Yeah, because it looks like a little shelf. I get it. Oh, there's
Yeah.
a nice cavern right here if you wanted to come snuggle.
Snuggle up.
Where?
We could just wait here
I want
until
to. I want to snuggle. Where? Wait, where?
here.
Where's the-
Here. Here.
Oh,
Do you see?
I saw a hand. I don't know if I'm going the right way. I'm going the
Yeah.
right way. Hi.
Yeah.
I'm here to
Hi.
snuggle.
Just in time.
Let's snuggle.
Let's snuggle. Absolute snuggle.
Absolutely.
No, okay, snuggle attack. Ugh.
Oh, you died.
Oh.
Let's make a pile.
Oh my god, snuggle.
Not a backflip, a pile.
Oh, a pile, snuggle pile.
Okay, actually, we should-
ready? Here we go.
Yeah, we should go.
Oh.
We should go.
We should
okay.
actually.
As
Just got
soon
done
as
at the
I
gym.
do it,
Nice.
actually.
Tell me about your workout. What's
How many
your
push-ups did
routine
you
look
do?
like? How long do you work out for?
Was it leg day?
Was it leg day?
I'm not allowed to work out for 5 more days.
Oh,
Oh, there's
Bummer.
you gotta get
food
rest.
on that tree if we go that way. Or there's presents this way. So I don't know which way we want to go.
I don't really like either option. I think they both look unfriendly.
You pick
Let's go to the one with the present.
presents. I like
Okay.
presents.
I like presents.
Maybe not.
What?
Okay, so it's just like sometimes you have to go down if you want to go up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
exactly.
Leg day on hold because I'm having back problems. I'm so sorry.
Oh, did you get injured?
We can't have that.
No,
Not like this.
not like this. Maybe
Blizzard
if we go
happening?
this way. Maybe if I go this way. No, we
better
have to
that
wait.
way?
Wait, we're
No,
perfectly
in the
safe. What are you
crevice.
doing? What's happening?
Oh, we're just looking at
Oh,
like
this-
what would be.
this-
Oh, maybe if we like jump and. One for Might be too high. Okay. I grab.
My savior.
I grab.
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
Thank you.
This is a win.
Oh, God.
Oh gosh. It's okay. You can stand.
Okay, I almost lost all of my extra stamina, but
Wow,
I'm not dead.
That's awesome.
Oh no! The
That's
cold
awesome.
anemia
No,
is
this is awesome.
happening.
We're fine
That's
right
I'm
here.
gonna stay where I was actually, because I'm not getting hurt
That's
down
awesome.
here.
That's awesome.
You won't get
Oh.
hurt if you go up one ledge.
Ooh.
That's why I'm not going
I'm
up
not
it
really
yet.
sure how it happened, to
Ooh.
be honest. Just
Oh, I'm
doing
I'm
upper
passing
body at
out.
the moment.
Oh, I'm
I'm
passing
sorry.
out. Oh, I'm
God,
passing
what's
out.
that?
Whoa! Oh, that's the heal thing. That's the heal. Oh. Oh, and the
no.
Oh,
mushroom.
the shelf shroom.
The shelf
Oh,
shroom.
did it all like happen
Are you
when
okay?
I fell?
Are you alive?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just cold.
Wait, the shelf didn't even save you?
No.
That's
It
a
saved me.
scam. It did.
I mean, I was gonna be fine, but I'm standing on it now.
I'm glad I could help you in all that chaos.
Well, I hope you don't overdo it with your back.
Yeah, be careful.
I'm gonna grab this magic bean.
Should we go down?
Oh, I'm coming. Don't worry.
Okay,
I'm
I'm right
good.
here.
I'm good.
I'm just gonna wait on this shelf. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright.
I'm on my way.
On my
Yeah,
way, on my
okay.
way.
A wee moe,
A
a
wee
wee moe,
moe.
a wee moe, moe, a wee moe,
Hello.
a wee moe, a wee moe,
Hello.
a wee moe.
Okay, well,
Is this safe from the cold?
yeah.
It looks like it should be.
Yeah. It is.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Uh-oh, huddle.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Huddle.
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 how do you crouch?
Left control.
Ah, that's much better.
Yeah. Okay.
Cuddle, huddle.
Cuddle,
Cuddle,
huddle.
cuddle.
Cuddle, no, the cuddle puddle's the one where we all three play dead at the same time, but that didn't work.
No, it didn't.
We'll have to try it again when we have.
Okay.
You want your
There's a
piton back?
bandage. Yes.
Pitten.
There's a heat pack.
I'll
If
take that.
anybody wants that.
I have a heat pack in my inventory.
Okay.
I've got one.
And then we can go this way.
This looks dangerous.
Yeah.
This looks like a big pit.
Big pit
I
of
don't know if
doom.
there's a safe way.
Here, we have
anywhere.
to go down. Down, down,
Okay,
down,
I see.
down, down. Down.
I see them down there. I'm coming down. Oh, Jesus.
Just jump. Look back and then jump. Yeah. We can hide
I
here.
don't. Yeah, I was like, I think we can hide here. Ooh.
Let me in. Okay, wait. Now, everybody, play dead. 3.
I don't know. I
Two.
might die. I might.
Oh.
Why would you die from
Because
playing dead?
I'll slide into this pit. Ah!
Oh. Oh no.
There's a pit behind me.
Okay,
I see.
we're going back.
Going back.
Okay, we're getting away from the pit.
Back. Okay. We could do this little roundabout thingy.
Thanks, Mashi.
You're welcome.
Just don't touch the blue thing.
Don't touch the blue thing because
It'll
cold.
freeze you.
It's cold. Yeah.
I might need a hand.
I got you.
Thank you. Don't touch it. We're infinite. Don't touch.
Really?
We're infinite.
I
Don't
can't
touch.
walk on
Challenge.
this?
Sin, whenever I like catch up to you and you're looking at me with that face, it makes me really happy.
That's how I look at you.
We're looking in
Every
each
time I
other's
see you.
eyes.
When we lock eyes.
Anyone want a cookie?
I
Myers
do.
approved.
I want a cookie.
That's my final
Thank
cookie.
you.
I'm
Mashi,
sorry.
if you could have a
The
spicy
final
chicken sandwich or a
countdown.
Whopper right now, which would you want?
I kind of want a Whopper.
Yeah, I was like, Whopper sounds good.
Yeah, I've been having a
Neither
lot
of
of chicken lately. I kind of want beef.
Beef.
We had Culver's today.
Ooh, yummy. I love Culver's.
Oh, what is that? What is Culver's?
Culver's is like a,
kind of
a
like a
frozen
mostly
custard
Midwest-
burger shop.
Oh,
They
I
have
don't know
chicken
what
and
this
fish too,
means.
though.
What's the plan here?
The
just
plan
went
is
down.
to backtrack and hide and
Yeah.
Okay, I just thought that I was gonna fall to the bottom and die.
Oh
You're
no.
okay.
I would have been yelling. I would have been yelling if it was bad.
What else is yummy?
I don't know, maybe you have more stamina than me.
No.
I mean, I'm pretty confident you have more stamina than me.
Maybe, but I would still be thinking of you guys. Ooh.
I'm in this hole. I'm just gonna wait
Oh,
here.
okay, okay.
Okay.
I didn't fall that far.
Be safe.
Be
Be
safe.
safe.
Be safe.
Be
Be
safe.
so safe.
Are they making out over there without me?
No, our hands are barely touching.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Climb, 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 climb.
Me, like, I care you guys, and then just leaves.
I would be telling you if it was gonna be dangerous and you were gonna fall to your death. Turn around, Sin's completely gone.
Yeah, basically.
Sin's like 3 miles up the mountain.
Because
I was
I'm
just scouting
checking
ahead.
things out to make sure it's safe.
And I greatly appreciate that.
I'm so concerned. Okay, do we go up? Question
I'm gonna
What
take
could
out
go
my peak
wrong?
on.
Just a blizzard.
Just a blizzard. It's
Peak? More
fine.
like geek.
Hey, Hex.
Wait, wait.
I'm
Oh,
gonna chill down.
Back down, back down. Yeah.
I'm coming.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good. You good?
I'm good.
Thank you for the
Good.
sub.
We're good.
Putting on his background noise as I work on my paper. Okay, good job, Abyss.
Yay.
I believe in you. If you
Yay,
want to mute
thank
us,
you.
feel free.
Ooh,
We appreciate a nice quiet lurk too.
I was so like, I'm gonna get Rin, and then I was
I
sliding
miss all my
down.
internet friends.
Mute. Yeah, because Hex has been busy in the real world. Ugh. Like buying a house and like decorating it.
Buying a house?
Oh,
Whoa.
wow. I wanna buy a house.
It's
and
everyone our
decorate
age's
it.
dream.
Joker.
Yeah, really?
That's my
Oh,
biggest dream. Owning a
blizzard.
house.
Oh!
Not my biggest.
Be
but-
careful.
I got a hand. This is time for the hand warmer. Oh, I don't know if that was enough.
Careful.
There we go.
There's
Okay.
food in that tree.
We have until the end of January.
What tree?
We're on track. Good for you.
Oh,
I'm glad you're
food.
on track.
Food.
I'm gonna wait for Ren.
All right, give me a sign. Oh, okay, I see you.
And eat this food.
Can you make that? Okay.
How cat dog Kitsune? We're great.
Cat dog Kitsune.
We're having so much fun that
We
Mr.
are.
Rin. Ooh, I want one. I want two.
Take them. Here.
Get them.
Get them before the blizzard comes.
Where's the other?
I have two. Okay, I have two.
I don't know how I'm here.
Oh, careful, Rin.
Ren.
I'm
Oh.
trying to come down.
Ah,
Oh God. Where'd you guys go?
over here. Over
I
here.
see. I'm coming. Oh God. Oh no.
Oh, she passed out. Your stuff's fine.
Uh-oh.
Here.
Good. Okay, wait. That might be enough. Love.
You
Yes!
did it.
And you got your
Okay.
stuff. There you go.
Let me eat this.
Eat it.
Ooh, shelf shroom. I want that. Give that to me.
Yeah, don't drop it like some dummy.
Do you have any extra berries, or did you eat them all?
I have one.
Can I have it?
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Come, somebody come get her. She's dancing
She's
like
dancing like a feather. She's dancing like a feather. Definitely.
That's the
Alright, I'm
PG
checking.
version.
What does it really say?
Red. Give this to you. Come here.
Ooh.
There you go.
Know her. I know this boy,
Oh.
It's her favorite dance. Alright, which way do we want to go? See.
Mashi is a rave girl. A pretty cutie rave girl. She knows all about mushrooms, and if you sing songs about her, she'll throw a snowball in your face.
There's a
No!
present down there. No, I'm not gonna do it. Wait, should I? I
don't think-
Oh, okay.
No, I'm kidding. Let's not.
Oh, I was like, what?
I don't think that's the way. I don't know the way. Do you think we could like go from here to here, or no?
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
be able to.
Let me up. Jeez.
I feel like I have
just,
a hard time
trying to walk
understanding
forward.
perception in this game.
You have what?
I feel like it's depth perception is a little hard in this game. Like I can't always tell like how far it's gonna be from one.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. I always
I don't-
jump
Ooh,
because
I could place
Got
a
'em.
piton here, or I can place a shelf shroom.
What if I jump all the way over
This
here?
is terrible.
Oh,
That is
Oh.
not what I meant to. Where I meant to put it.
well,
Oh, that's okay. We'll be okay. We're safe from the storm. That's something.
I have a piton that I,
I have
can set
No
if
UFO.
you know. Oh, you got it? Okay.
Yeah.
It didn't work. What's wrong with ooh? Oh, it's not working.
Okay. I grabbed it at first and then I didn't. Hello.
Hello.
He's not there. I see that. Very well placed Python.
Thanks.
You'd think maybe that like playing this game would have made us learn how to pronounce that.
Piton.
But I feel like I still don't know the answer.
Everyone says piton.
Piton?
Piton.
That sounds fake. I'm gonna wait down here for a sec.
Okay.
I set one right there, so if you need the piton.
Piton?
Piton.
Like a pecan?
Yeah.
That's how I say it. I don't know. If that's
Well,
how
I mean,
say
you
it.
know more than I do.
Piton, the horse is here.
Okay, we can
Plus
plus two for that.
two.
+2.
Do you see my piton?
UFO not available for redeem? Oh, I apologize.
There's so many gifts and foods.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yes. Make it to the
Wait
top.
a minute.
I'm waiting for Ren.
I'm just regaining my strength.
It's okay.
Oh god!
Oh, okay.
It's
I'm
cold.
here.
I see you, Bashi. Oh, please be careful. Okay, I thought you were like falling down. I was
No, Ren.
Maybe I was. I thought I was standing still.
Gifts. Oh wow, you weren't kidding. What the
My
heck?
goodness gracious, they got food? Nuts!
Ooh, I'll take that. The
It's like a
granola
little-
bar.
It's like a...
Yeah.
Gosh, and berries?
Reward.
There's gotta be something wrong here. This is too... This is
Too
suspicious, right?
generous. Oh gosh.
Like
Okay.
a little crevice right here, a perfect little crevice. We could just
Mhm.
live here, guys.
Yeah, let's just live here. Let's build a
Let's
house.
just live here.
We'll build a house, the trees provide fruit.
Presents spawn.
Presents are here. So, like, we'll be able to eat here. We could live here for a good while before we ran out of food. Well, we could
Fortified-
live on bananas, toast, applesauce, and rice for 2 to 3 days.
Oh, I didn't mean to do
Are you
that. Uh-oh.
What's fortified milk?
It gives you
Ignore that. Beans.
Uh-huh.
a better chance to not take fall damage.
A better
Sorry.
chance to not take fall damage.
Yeah, you're fortified. It fortifies you. Oh, you're raising me.
So if this one's fortified milk, then do you think the next one's 6 to 7 milk?
Get.
No?
We could be bees.
We could be BTOS.
BTOS. You can't hold that.
Yeah.
I can't either.
Did we stock up on...
I guess I don't really need this milk. Is the energy drink better than the milk?
Holy shit! Plus
The
1,000.
energy drink is not super great.
Holy shit, I
'Cause
liked it. Rin plus
You
1,000.
get sleepy.
Sleepy?
I would say just stock up on the berries.
Wait, there's a person over there too.
Ooh.
Oh, we can't get to it.
Oh, your beanstalk.
Yeah,
Oh.
I accidentally did that.
It fell out of your
And then you
pocket.
said no 6-7 jokes. I did, but like 4 to 5. Fortified just sounds so much like 4-5, and then 6-7 comes right after that. So it had some thought in it.
Are we
Where'd
all...
my backpack go?
I'm totally
You're
fine.
holding it.
It's
I'm
right in
holding
front of
it?
you.
Yeah, you're
You're
holding
holding it in your arms.
Uh-oh.
Uh
Uh-oh, I'm losing connection, I think.
oh.
I grabbed a backpack.
You grabbed the backpack?
I grabbed your backpack.
Okay.
No! Can she come back?
Oh no. I think you should be able to, because you put...
Am I...
Oh, wait,
Did I
no, you might not
disconnect?
be able to.
Yeah.
You did.
No!
I will put this in your bag.
No, it's okay. I'll come back and it'll respawn me at the right spot, because that's a new thing
It'll
now.
definitely respawn you at the right spot.
Okay.
I'm connecting.
Let me get another thing. Yes, baby bot.
Okay, I need a re-invite.
Okay, I can do that. I know how to do that.
Now.
Did it work?
Hey.
Yes. I don't know what happened.
What
Sometimes
happened?
that connection just be like that. Oh, she's
Oh.
here! Oh, she's face down on the ground.
She's just napping.
Oh, thank you. Do you have my backpack?
Well, I saved your backpack.
Thank you.
Yes, I put a berry in it.
Thank you.
Inventory
Really
management
good?
time, everybody. That went from a very quick 07 to /20//. That was
Okay,
very
I'm
quick.
ready. I'm ready to go.
All right, where are we going?
Yeah. All right.
Lead the way,
Um,
Sin.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
Why not?
I have a rope cannon if we need it.
Let me see. Here. Yes.
Mashi
baby.
was dead for a while, so I kind of figured it was either you or me, and it wasn't going to be me. What if we jump right from here to here?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
That
I
that
guess-
that can't be doable, right?
I mean,
It's
I have
gonna
a chain
depend-
launcher.
I don't
Yeah,
think
but
it's
the chain will go
close
straight
enough.
down. The chain won't go.
We'd have to go down and then we could maybe climb up.
Oh, I don't like this. Let's try the other way.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't feel good about this.
We could do it. Yes, we could do it.
You could do
I
it.
don't know if we could.
You gotta believe.
Ooh.
Okay, we could
don't
go
think
get
we
that
can make it.
present that you wanted.
Do you want to go back and do it?
Oh, wait.
I think the gap's
in the
too
hole.
big.
Yeah, I get in the safe spot.
I I say we go
Yeah,
here.
we could probably. Yeah, literally just. Yeah, Bashi's
I think we should
got
go
the
right on
same
this.
thought.
Okay.
Right on
I-
this.
Yeah.
Right on this dark blue. What could go wrong?
Nothing.
Oh my gosh. Ooh!
There's a lip here, so I'm gonna climb up so you can stand there. Oh no.
Oh,
the
God.
cold.
Oh no, the present. Go to the present.
Actually,
It's
this
safe.
little crevice is not too
Okay,
bad.
you're good. Okay.
Ow, baby bot.
I'm taking
it.
very minimal cold damage, so... Oh, I guess
Stop.
I'm running out
Sorry.
of stamina, though.
Ooh,
You need
it's
this.
like climb me. Yes. Oh. Thank you.
What does the energy drink do?
It gives you a temporary stamina.
But
What is it called?
It's like short use. You can't. It's not. The one
Yeah,
that's
short
not-
use. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you get sleepy. What the heck?
Oh, and then you get sleepy.
Yeah.
Oh.
We just had this.
I know we did.
This is not a very tender foot.
Okay.
All right, and then we're gonna
Mashi, could
go
I
up
eat your berry?
the thing.
Eat the berry.
Can I eat it?
Eat it.
Thank you.
I was scared I was not gonna make that.
I was scared you were not gonna make that, but you made it look easy. So I'm gonna jump and grab the rope, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
Okay.
set this piton here.
Can I? Should I go now?
Yeah. And I'm gonna. Oh. Oh.
Hand,
Oh.
hand.
Are you good? Are you good?
No.
Oh,
I
no.
got you. I got you. Leap. No. Oh. Ah! Oh
I took her down with me.
Oh.
no! No, I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm just very, very far down.
Aw, man. Oh, it's totally
I'm
my.
s-
You
You should have drank your milk. Yeah, you could have survived.
Well, my finger wasn't on the E. That's totally my fault.
Okay, I'm
wasn't-
coming,
I
Sin.
thought to myself,
I'm not
"Yes,
gonna let you down.
And then I jumped.
What the fuck?
Skill issue? Yeah, it was absolutely a skill issue. I take full responsibility for that. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. I'm so sorry.
Then, will you still love me?
But
Will you still love me?
I do still love you.
Even though I'm
Nothing
dead?
can change that. No, I just am sad. That's all.
Even. Yeah, bro.
I'm just sad that you're not here with me.
Oh, I can be
Where's
here.
Mashi?
I'm coming up.
Here, I'm with you.
Okay. Oh, hi. Hi, I was just thinking about
I'm
you.
dying.
Oh my god, that's so sweet.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
No!
I'm so dead.
to do this by myself.
I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
Alright, you got this, Sin.
My stuff.
You're almost
That's so
Okay,
sad.
You're on-
Hi.
Hi.
Hello,
You're
wives.
almost at the top.
The ghost of my wives.
There's like a Chuck Tingle book. It'll be like me and the ghost of my wife and the ghost of my other wife.
Oh no.
Pounding me
Oh,
in the
no,
butt.
why?
No, what? Or something.
Why am I getting cold here? What the heck?
Oh,
You're
I
fine.
think you're okay.
You're okay.
Okay.
You could eat a
Piku,
berry.
thank you for the follow.
Yeah, thanks, Piku. Welcome to.
Pika,
Welcome.
that's my friend.
Yeah. We have free healthcare. Which is good, because me and Mashi will fucking get it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
healthcare can't save us.
Yes, it can if we get to the only if you get to the totem. I'm gonna use
I'm
Power
gonna
Watch like a
do
good
it.
girl.
I'm determined.
You are gonna do it. Look at that
Find a
that
Sin.
hole up there. You can get through that.
Sin, you know someone named Piku?
Yes, that's my friend.
They're here.
I saw. Okay. Well,
Oh, that's
hold
right.
that
Sin actually has
hole.
to climb a
Okay.
mountain. So.
I'm just like, I know the minute I start climbing, it's gonna be like, anyway, here's a blizzard.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Yeah.
Does Sin power wash like a good girl? Sin, have you played Power Wash Simulator?
Yes.
Do you power wash it, like, neatly?
No.
Okay, no, she's like
Uh-oh.
me, Cox.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
What the heck?
You were
so close!
What the heck?
You
Eat a
should
berry and then go
eat your
again.
berry.
I need the hot
I have a
dog.
redeem on my channel for when I'm
Oh,
playing Power
wait,
Wash Simulator that
maybe
says
the
Power Wash like a good
granola.
girl for 5 minutes. And then I'll go, like, up and down and left to right, like, nicely for 5 minutes, and then I go back to spraying wildly.
Wait. And a bandage.
Bandage, good idea. I need to do more Power Wash myself. Power Wash Simulator is so fun!
Yeah. I've been playing Crime Scene Cleaner.
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting that game for a while.
It's kind of fun. It's on the Game Pass for free.
It looks like it would be fun. Where does the Game Pass come from?
Xbox.
Oh my lord. Please.
It's a app on the PC.
You can do it! Leap!
Leap! Leap!
Leap!
No! I think you gotta eat your hot dog.
Crazy!
Okay.
I'm so sorry I died.
The only way. You can do it!
First of all, how to eat that?
That... You weren't hungry.
That didn't. Oh, I thought. I thought it would give me something.
It gave you nothing!
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I got absolutely nothing. So if I don't
Is
make
there
it
an
this
easier way
time-
you can climb?
No,
or
I
is
mean,
that the
we're so close to
easiest?
knowing you're not gonna make it, right? But I think will be
I
my next
could-
game is Monster Care Simulator. Co-op
try.
running a Temu brand Pokemon Center. That
I
sounds
want
fun.
to power wash Mashi. Would the freckles disappear?
me and Mashi?
Yeah, my skin would disappear.
Sin playing Monster Care Simulator? Monster Care Simulator.
Let me,
Cozy management
Oh,
simulator where you run a care
You
center
did
for
it!
kids.
I did
Play online
it.
with up to 4 friends.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It's $8.
Oh.
It has a free demo.
Oh, we should try the demo.
We absolutely should try the demo. Oh, I have something for us to do tomorrow now. If I power wash Mashi, would her freckles disappear? I don't like that question.
I
Oh my
told
God.
him that my skin would disappear.
I guess your
if
freckles
you
are
power
on your
washed
skin,
me.
so they would also disappear,
Yes.
I guess.
The answer is yes. Sin did
Sin
it!
did it!
I
Yeah!
believed in her.
I mean, I knew she would.
I knew it all along.
Kind of just a matter of time.
Am I there? I'm like,
Yeah,
You're
you're,
doing
there.
great. You're
almost to
super
the
crushing it. Okay.
fire.
oh. Okay, okay.
Yes! Oh my god!
I see
did not
it!
think that this is
Oh my
happening. No,
god, I
can't.
did it! I did it all by myself.
Clap, 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 clap.
But with your spirits to
It's our
guide me.
spirits. Just ask for
Mashi's face.
Goodbye.
Oh, what's
Hello.
that? No.
Alright, wait, we're not supposed to go down.
What is that? Is that?
No.
What is that?
You don't want that.
Wait,
you don't.
what is?
Wait. What? What is?
Oh,
What is
Wait, there's a
that?
hole.
What is the
what's
thing on the
white thing?
ice?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I don't know what the other thing is.
That
Hold
will
on.
teleport you. Do not use that. It'll teleport you.
Okay.
The purple stick?
Oh,
Oh,
no, 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 no. You don't
geyser.
want to go through the geysers. Those are geysers.
Oh, okay, no, no, no.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Go.
I just-
Run.
Okay.
Pro climber.
I got.
Kitsune.
I
Kitsune.
had a moment where I was like, "Is it the capybaras?" But it's not.
No.
Geysers, they
sadly.
water. Oh, I think
Yeah.
I saw the capybaras.
What?
Hot
We missed
water.
them.
Yeah.
Not on
They
this-
looked
not on this
weird
one,
for a
on this.
second. They looked like a coffee cup with a plate for a second.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Cause I was like, what is that?
And I was like, oh wait, those are geysers.
Are you ready to be revived?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fall from the
Are you
heavens.
ready to be reunited?
Are you ready to do the next level by yourself too?
Oh, I got an achievement for that.
got a
For
badge!
resurrecting.
Yeah.
Resurrect 3 scouts
Nice.
twice.
3 scouts?
Yay!
Badges.
But we're only 2 scouts.
Yeah, cause I
Oh, you did it
no,
last
cause
time.
yeah, I did it last time.
I got climb 5,000 meters total.
Awesome. There's only 2. There's only 2 marshmallows.
What?
What?
That's fine.
Oh,
If
That's
I
fine,
carry
take it.
one, I'll just carry it and fall
oh,
on my
those are
chest
just
anyway.
it's just energy drink.
The
That sucks.
what are we? What is this? Not
What about the
Caldera. What is the next level called?
Hell.
Hell.
I don't
It's the
know.
last level?
No.
Yeah. Oh,
Almost.
isn't it?
Oh, it used to be the last level, didn't it?
We have this one and then the volcano.
Oh.
Oh, I thought this was the volcano. Okay, never mind.
Do we light the fire?
Yep.
Yes.
Light it.
Fire, fire, light the fire, cook
I'm
your
gonna have to eat this
marshmallow.
straight away, unfortunately. Are you hungry?
Yeah, but can I
Oh.
eat this green fruit?
Oh, I got a
Here. No, no, no,
a
no,
new
no, no. Here,
achievement.
here, Rin. Rin. Eat this. You
Okay,
have that.
thanks. What's
The
wrong?
green one is, it's poison, I think.
It is
right?
poison.
Yeah.
I won't eat it.
Oh, see, this is volcano. What? Why'd you go to me?
Because
Mashi, why are you picking those up?
it doesn't. It's okay. It doesn't. It's not gonna be a lot.
Okay.
And I'm hungry.
Oh, like it cures your hunger, but you get
Yeah.
a little.
Yeah. It'll go away slowly.
Okay. Volcano time.
Right.
Does poison go away on its own?
Usually.
Over time, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
It went away after Sin took the tick off me. But that might have been
Ooh,
because it was
what's
a
that?
tick.
Yeah. But I mean, in general, it usually goes away over time. Unless you're, like, consuming a lot of it.
Okay. So this is pretty easy. We just gotta wait for the lava not to.
Oh,
Nice.
that's right. I remember this area.
Yeah.
So how do
We
you
just
know where
need to
the
map
lava
out a
can
clear
go and where you're
path.
safe? Is there does
I
safe
think
ground look different?
here to
than
here to
unsafe ground?
there to there.
Wait, where?
Here to there
Mm-hmm.
to there.
Okay.
Or
Or maybe off to the side first.
Off to the side first.
which side?
Oh, just this side. Oop. Okay. Because I wasn't sure if the way Masha was going had a bottom.
I'm afraid
You
that
got
the
this,
lava's
Rin.
gonna rise.
You got this.
Are we gonna get killed?
No, no, we're fine. We're fine here.
How can you tell where you're safe or not?
Well, if it's not shining red, then
Is the
we're
orangey rock
safe.
that will get lava'd? Okay,
Yeah.
I understand.
Okay, so I want to go after that present. Where did it go?
Where did it go? It's gone.
No.
It was.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
it's
Sorry,
here.
sorry.
I found it. Cookies.
Cookies.
Cookies!
Nice. Good
Would you
find.
like a cookie?
I'm not that hungry right now, so I'll save my cookie for later. Orgy rock?
Bruh. Why would
Hex,
you say
explain
this?
yourself.
Are you hungry?
No, I'm good right now.
Okay.
Alright, ooh. Which way do we want to go? This way?
On a
On a
PB and J,
bite.
are you more PB or J?
I'm like I do like
fine.
more peanut butter than jelly. But I
Oh,
like
well,
to
I'm
like
purple,
kind of
so I'm
even
the
it
jelly.
out.
I'm purple. I thought that's what you said, Rin. I don't. Why would I say the word orgy for any reason? I'm being genuine. No, I did not say orgy rock.
Orange rock. Orange.
It's just orangey rock. Oh, orangey rock.
Oh my god.
Because it's orangey. Okay, yeah, I hear it now.
Oh my gosh.
Did she
You're
just
playing
jump?
peek? I jumped.
Excuse
Are
me.
you okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I had to let baby Bob out. Sorry.
It's okay.
I might wait because
Yeah, the lava,
the lava.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should wait. I almost fell and died.
No.
If anybody finds a little band-aid, I could go for that. Okay, my bad. No, I take the blame.
I
'Cause
don't
did
know,
say
guys.
orangey,
Is
orangey
this...
rock. It would just be a threesome rock. Okay? There's no one else here.
Have arrived.
Look,
Hi.
come.
Oh, are we jumping again?
Yes,
Did you
jump.
jump from here?
Yes.
Oh god.
Hold space. Yeah.
Okay.
I got you.
I don't know if I have enough
Ren,
stamina to climb
you-
that far.
And you gotta jump.
Okay.
Did you make it?
I mean, I'm not dead yet.
Are you hurt?
Yeah.
Here. Oh, you're fine. Okay.
Okay. I've got about half my stamina bar.
I think I made a mistake.
What? Wait.
Are we
Where
stranded on a
where
lava
can we
island
go?
now?
Where can we go?
Are we stranded on a rocky rock?
I think we should go to the places that have the chains.
The chains?
The chains. Yeah.
Oh god, that's another big jump. Oh,
I don't know which way. Yeah, that looks like a big jump too.
Yeah, I don't
yeah, they're all big jumps.
Should we just
Well,
backtrack?
Are you
I have two
hungry?
energy
Do you-
drinks.
Oh yeah, use one of those. And then jump to this one. Jump to this one.
Do you want me to leave the other one here so you guys can have it?
I'm good, but Sin, do you want it?
I'll take it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put it down.
Yeah.
Get ready to grab it.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. Easy money, bro.
Ready?
Easy.
Let's wait till the lava goes down.
That's not a bad idea.
There's a present up there.
Okay, it's going down now.
Okay.
Go,
Orangey
Mashi,
rock.
go!
I'm not gonna make this!
Oh! You did it!
No, I'm gonna pass out. I'm gonna pass out.
Oh, no! Mashi, no!
Oh my gosh. Push him off. No! I sacrificed myself.
No!
I'm here. I'm
You
here.
guys. Yes, make it.
Hey. You got any healing?
Oh yeah, Rin is very
I don't think I have
hurt.
anything in my backpack,
Fine.
do I?
I am
Hush, you're smoking hot right now.
I am.
Did you have
Okay, so there was
anything
a
in your
chain
bag,
on
Mashi, or
wasn't there?
no?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
right here. Are we taking this chain? Is that the plan?
What?
I
Once
think
the
you-
lava goes
yeah,
down,
lava needs
yeah,
to
we
go
can.
down.
Oh,
Yeah, don't
Okay.
go down yet.
yeah, be careful. No, I thought I was high enough.
I am
Okay.
a disgrace to the team.
I think the energy drink is the reason why I was able to jump so far.
Yeah, it definitely is.
It's hot, it's hot, it's hot.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
Red.
And red. Okay.
I'm here.
There's a
Okay, I have-
present on your right.
Less than 25% of my bar.
Oh.
Yeah, she's very hurt and hot.
Okay.
No hand for Infinite? Can you
Wait. Sorry, here. Wait, come this way. Right here. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm gonna need the hand at all possible.
Okay. Let's see if I can get. Oh boy.
I don't think that's a good idea. I think
Maybe.
that one's a lost cause. How about
Well,
maybe
if
this
you
one?
go towards the goal, then there's a present there for you, right? Oh god, that,
Oh,
that
boy.
rock's on fire.
That rock looks too hot
Is
to
our
touch.
rock gonna get on fire?
No, you're fine there.
Okay.
So are we gonna try and
So.
get top of this thing? Or at least on a shelf, maybe, so we can assess?
Oh, we can. I don't know if you have the
Oh
stamina though.
gosh.
Because I was
No, I
gonna
definitely don't.
say we could probably just start once that's cool, like just jump and then make our way that way, perhaps. I'm not sure yet though.
I'm doing it. No, wait.
Okay.
Oh.
You got it? You
yeah,
good?
Okay, there you
Yeah, I'm
go.
fine.
Okay.
You are
Just
great.
keep going
Good
because
job.
it's gonna start.
Go get that
heating up.
present.
Yeah. You got this. You got this.
I hope it's a med kit.
Would be really good.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Hoping. Chat.
Hoping,
hope
praying,
with us.
crossing
Pray with
fingers.
us.
Come on.
Oh, it's a bandage at least.
I'll take it.
Yeah, do it.
Who packed this suitcase that had one ace bandage in it and nothing else?
Yeah.
That's poor planning. Okay, speaking of planning,
So maybe if we
we've got some chain
go
options.
this
that one too.
way and then to the big one to assess, perhaps.
Okay.
Okay.
Remember to hold E if you're gonna jump to that chain.
E.
Good job. Oh, yeah. I hate when I get stuck like that.
No, I wasn't stuck. I just was not clicking the button.
Oh, okay. Well,
I was just pressing this part. I thought I could make the jump.
You.
This
Okay.
is a pretty short jump. Okay. We should
Yeah,
be
and
good.
I have slightly over half my bar now. It's much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty simple climbs.
A baby could climb this rock.
This might be the longest
Uh-oh.
part, but
Where are you
I don't know if I
want to
go
there?
that far. Where are we going now? Oh, we need to get over
Just
to
up.
the stairs. Is that where we're ending up?
oh, I was just going up so we could get a better view of everything, but
Yeah, I'm just
Let me
worried I
see.
won't make it, then I'll fall and die.
okay. Okay, so I'll go up and I'll
I'm just
look.
moving to this branch over here
Okay.
so I can see.
Oh,
a
we're
little.
almost there. Okay. So,
Yeah. So we need to go from here to here to wherever that chain
You
leads.
can get the eggs and then. No, never mind.
Eggs.
There's eggs.
Are there
behind-
eggs?
Yeah.
Oh, I see them. I don't know if that's a
Trying
good. Like, is
no,
it worth
be
it?
careful.
Not worth
Oh,
it.
okay. I was
No.
looking for you. Like, where are
The
you?
eggs are right here, but I don't think that would be a good idea.
No.
No. I'm not sure if we can get to that.
You might.
To
I
the,
don't
yeah, it's
know.
pretty far.
Yeah, we might have to.
Yeah, you
do-
might have to
we might-
backtrack.
Well, there's a chain that goes to the eggs.
Oh, we might as well take the chain to the eggs then, huh?
Okay, here we go. Ooh.
I can do that.
Hold E. You got this.
Oop,
Yay.
got him.
Yeah, nice.
And then you can get some food in you so you're not so hungry.
Give me the egg.
You take an egg, I take an egg.
Oh, it's huge. What do I do? Crack it and
You can
roast
crack
it on
it
the
and-
sidewalk?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it has to be the orangey part though.
I have to crack it against the orangey rock.
Yes.
That seems dangerous.
It is dangerous. Or you could just eat it, but it won't give you that much food.
There's got to be a better place to throw this that's not here. Where are we going?
Yeah, we could
That's
save it.
one big egg. Whose egg is this? Is there some
that's a
lava
great question.
chicken? Is there some
Oh, wait,
lava
maybe
chicken I don't know about?
Okay, is it this? Is this it?
Maybe this one? Yeah.
Okay, now could we just drop the egg right here and then eat it? Like, that wouldn't be bad.
Yes. Just
You
make
gotta
sure-
wait till it heats up though.
It's not orange yet?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's the black rock. I see. Once it heats up, we'll wait for it to start cooling down. When it starts cooling down, we'll throw the eggs. Then, when it's all the way cool, we will go over, eat the eggs, and go up. It's kind of interesting that the orangey rock clip that Sun made has hedonistic in the title of the clip.
Hedonistic. Yeah, I see that.
This rock not getting hot.
I know, I'm like, why is it taking so long all of a sudden?
Heat up, rock!
Is it?
There's a chance you can get a whole roasted chicken in one
Oh
of those.
yeah, there is.
Oh, now?
Wait, really?
There we go.
Okay, rock's getting hot.
Yeah, I
Oh,
dropped my
look, you're right.
eggie.
How'd you do that?
Q?
Careful, don't let it burn. Did it cook?
Oh. Oh no! Did it
Oh,
burn?
that's some cooked egg.
Did it
Did it-
burn?
It didn't
Were
burn.
No, I
you-
picked it up.
Oh, you picked it up. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay. I was
didn't
like, where's
realize
my
it
egg?
wasn't done.
No, it's okay. Okay.
Now what do I do? Put it
Is
back?
that yours or mine?
No, this is yours.
Oh, just drop it here and I'll grab it. Okay. Thank you.
I need to wait for it
No.
to get red again so I can cook mine.
Yeah.
Did yours
Oh my
cook, Sin?
Yeah, mine cooked. I ate it.
What if I just went down here and then threw it?
The lava's gonna rise.
Okay. Then
okay,
I won't do that.
it's ready. It's ready. You can drop it there now.
Ready? Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Now do I have to cook it?
Yeah. Let it sit for a little bit.
Okay.
Will it cook
Egg. I don't know.
there? Drop it lower. Like where Sin had hers.
Oh god.
Okay, grab.
Cooked egg. Delicious. All right, shall we go or shall we wait?
Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah. Let's
Let's just go.
go.
It's fine.
Let's
The
see.
top of the rock doesn't get that red. I'm just gonna chain it over.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if it was gonna burn or not.
It didn't burn.
Okay.
Okay.
How come eating a
Okay.
whole roasted chicken gives you a cannibalism badge? Explain that to me.
Oh, I think we have to go. Oh wait, which way? Do we have to follow the chain, basically?
I thought there was like a whole chain path.
Yeah, like we might have to go
Is this where we
this
came from?
way, and then. Oh God, what? Yeah,
What
because
on
there's
earth?
like
What
a
was our
chain right there.
plan?
I don't know. I think we go this way, but I have to
Okay.
wait for the lava to go down. Oh,
It's
oh.
down.
oh, owie, I'm burning. Okay.
Clearly, we had an
Yeah,
idea
follow
of what
the
we were doing when we
chains.
set out to do it.
Okay. So the chain goes around that way, but I think
Oh,
we
there's
have
this
to wait.
into this? Or is that where we
There's
just came
a
from?
chain
Yeah, that's
this
where you came
way,
from.
but we have to wait till that stops burning.
Okay. I see it. This is fine.
This
Everything
is fine.
fine.
This is fine.
It's gonna
She's so
be
cute.
okay.
You, ghost of Mashi. Whoa, she got small. Oh, she's turning. Oh, she's gone. Cutie,
What the heck? That looks so weird. You just like appear. Okay, so it's going down now. So
Yep.
we should be able to just
Slide
Hoof it.
on through.
Here.
and then the
Here.
chain is
And
here. E to grab the chain. Owie. Owie.
Should I wait? Or should I just go?
Oh, just go.
We're going.
And
We're
then
just gonna make it work.
climb. Okay. I'm looking for you. Oh.
I'm trying to climb up the rock.
Behind you, Sin.
I'm behind you, I'm behind you.
Oh, okay. Looking.
No, that was fine. We made it.
Okay, so then there's a chain right below us once the lava
Yes.
goes
I see.
away.
The destination is in my sight again.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I'm scared. Sin, I'm
I'm
scared.
scared. I'm scared. I'll hold you.
Okay, thank you. Can I just jump in your backpack?
Alright, and then I'm gonna
Oh,
We're gonna get on this chain and go.
go for the chain.
oh, you got this. Oh no, it's on fire.
It's on
Yes, baby.
fire. It's on
It's on fire. It's on fire.
Oh,
No.
I'm not going now. Oh no!
Don't go down. Don't go down. This is bad.
This is terrible. This is so terrible. No, Sin. Oh, rest in
Oh,
God.
pieces.
It
I'm
could
sorry,
not be
Rin.
on fire.
I'm sorry.
How did that happen? Okay, so
I
this
did
is
not.
not possible.
That was
to
the
do
most
because
terrible time for it to
the
set on
lava
fire.
comes up and covers the chain while the rock is not on fire. And when the lava goes down, the rock will go on fire again?
No, no,
Is that
no,
what's gonna
no.
happen?
That was the only once. It won't go on fire again.
Okay, so I'm just gonna be ready.
Yes. Oh my god, look at her
And
body.
your corpse is just floating! That's horrible.
Here with you.
Yeah, be with me! Do I go now?
Yes. Go, go, go.
You got this. You got this. You got
Oh
this.
no, she has no stamina.
Oh
No!
no.
No!
Uh-oh.
I'm
Well.
sorry, no.
We did our best.
We did.
Great.
Dang.
We went really far. And it was our first time working together on something like this.
Yeah. We did great.
We have good chemistry.
Absolutely.
Your body.
Dead.
I got a new badge. That's pretty cool.
What did Mashimaro? Oh, it's because she disconnected.
Your body was never found. Wait, why won't it let me? It won't let me pass the scouting report.
I'm still watching it. I got new eyes. They're horrible. I got a new hat.
Oh.
So I got 2 new badges on that run. Ugh,
Nice.
We're back!
We're
back.
so back.
We
We're
resurrected.
so back!
Why don't we just
We're
leave
so
the
back.
airport? We don't even have to go on this trip.
We go on the plane. Let's just climb the rock wall.
Climb the rock wall.
Thank you for the head pat.
Wait, what did I get?
Wow.
We did it. We beat the game.
We did. Yippee.
We beat the game. We beat the game. Yeah, we beat the game. We did
Wow.
it.
Oh,
Oh, cute.
got a little
What the
ice
heck?
climber outfit.
Aw. How'd you get that one? That's cute.
Taking less than 20% of cold damage.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Wow. I could
Impressive.
be an astronaut.
An
my God.
astronaut.
Why were you being an astronaut the whole time?
What?
It's adorable.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Astronaut.
Okay, now could you guys
Astronaut! Astronaut!
Astronaut.
This I've ever seen. Do it again. Do it again.
Astronaut!
Oh wait, sorry. Ready? Astronaut. It looks like we're fighting each other.
You're kissing really weird. Oh my gosh. Well, I played an hour longer than I should have anyway, but I had so much fun.
I had so much fun. Thank you.
I'm glad we got to play.
Yeah,
We
I'm
should do
super
this
glad we were all
again.
free.
Yeah.
We'll have to hang out again soon, but I won't linger
Yes.
for long. I gotta go.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, have fun.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for
Enjoy.
helping me.
Yee! I'm glad you got the one badge with the.
I got two.
Two badge.
Or oh yeah, two. Well, I meant
Two
like the one
badge.
that.
The one was the one that you.
Yeah.
I would not have gotten it without you, so thank you.
Yeah.
All right, chat. Masha, are you gonna keep streaming?
I don't know. No.
That doesn't help.
No.
Okay, great.
No.
I'll find somebody to raid you too. I'm gonna go to the end screen. Okay, bye, chat. Bye.
Bye,
Okay.
chat. Bye.
See you tomorrow for Monster Care Simulator.
Ah!